Guys, are you ready tonight? You've been asking for a long time for some Star Wars, particularly the EU, the proper EU, to be covered on the show. And after a long time, that wish is granted. And it's gonna be huge! Woo! There you go, Five Pico. I saw your comment, and your wish is my command. How are you all doing tonight? I was just hanging out with CJP from the Legion of Memers on his channel, and that was fun time. We were talking metal, and I was hanging out with Captain Have Fun this morning on his channel, talking toys. So, how are you all doing tonight? It is awesome to be here, and I missed you all last week. It was a weird world, but I had fun. I hope you all had fun, whatever it is you're doing on Friday night. In fact, you all came back here is great. So, let's look at all these humans here. Oh man, and right away, 5 picoseconds. My guy 5 pico here, the Canadian dude says, time for some real Star Wars. Thank you, 5 pico, and I hope you're well, sir. And what's up, Rida Iban Muhammad? I hope I pronounced that right. If I didn't, please correct me. I do genuinely try. Adeka Outlaw, Midnight, My Kendon, Bronner, Low Spec Linux Laptops, Pinochet's Helicopter Tours, the great Pat S, who linked me up with Sir Pops. I hung up Pops on his channel. Awesome dude as well. Thank you, Pat S, for that. We had a great time. Guys, it's about time. This has been long waiting for this one, but it's here, and we're talking fun of the story. And I'm of the perspective where I have read and know about a handful of EU stuff. So this one for me was brand new. I'm gonna be, even though I know the original trilogy really well and the prequel trilogy fairly well, you will be the deciders if I'm a casual perspective or a Nori perspective. But I, of course, love Shadows of the Empire. Love that game. Fantastic. I've read about a handful of books, not many. But going to the story, I've kind of been away from Star Wars for a while for, well, obvious reasons. Very obvious reasons. We don't need to travel down that well. That's been beaten to death up until and including today. But reading this story over the week has really reinvigorated that love and passion that I had for it. And it reminds me that I will still always have love for this franchise and what it once was. And it's definitely, given me the urge of saying, you know what? This is the golden time for me to look into more of these stories because there's something special that this story had to offer. And we're going to talk about this greatness. So, obviously, I know this is the comic book version based off of a chapter book that Timothy Zahn wrote. This is the Mike Barron scripted story of Timothy Zahn's work. So, happy to talk about this tonight. And I'm honored, and I'm going to do my best to have a slightly normie perspective on Star Wars. And obviously, I got gentlemen here to back me who are very well versed on this, or moderately at the very least, who are going to help make this a good, memorable show. And I want to say there's already 17 of you in here. Holy shit. Thank you guys. And I appreciate all of you. And thanks for continuing to support the Comic Shop Show 109 episodes in. And welcome, Pat S. Guys, we're going to wait till the boys get in here. Then we're going to drink. But I just want to let you know, now's a good time to get your drinks out. Let's bring in a few of our other guys while we wait for other said dudes. How's it going, Sir Clobberer of the Kirby's?
Hey, buddy. Hey, man. How's it going? Hello there, chat. You dear friends. What's up? How you been?
Good, man. It's been about a day since I last seen you on Mead. It was a great show yesterday, and good to be hanging with you again. And it looks like now we get to balance it out with some good stuff. Because for the
Yeah,
bad things that we see in the world, we
that's
get
what we
some good
do.
stuff to balance it out.
Yeah, I did that earlier with the J Man on his great channel. Had a lot of fun. We're reviewing Kirby's Fourth World, and that was just a blast. So, yep, just talking anything that we like. That's always a lot of fun.
I love it. I love it, Claudia. Well, I'm glad to have you here, sir. This is gonna be fun to
Glad to be
talk
here.
about. And let's acknowledge the other additional faces. Welcome, Claude Parrish. Nice to see you here, sir. Nice to see. Welcome to the Comic Shop Show, Rodney G. Glad to finally have you here, and welcome
Hey,
as well, Lester San Jose, the Skeptic Tank. So glad to see some first timers in here. The Star Wars brings all the boys to the yard, and the proof is in the Belgian chocolate pudding. Let's bring in the Iron Caster.
Hello there.
Hello.
This has been a heck of a week. This has been a heck of a day.
Mhm.
But here we are now. It's all in the past, and now we get to go enjoy some proper Star Wars. And it feels like I haven't enjoyed any proper Star Wars in a long time.
Mhm.
I dare say it was a long time ago.
Oh, oh man, dude. In a way, there is some accuracy to that, Ironcaster. I mean, it has been some time for us guys to really deep dive into anything with Star Wars. So it really was a long time ago, kind of far away, and now here we are talking about it and rediscovering that love. And boy, dude, was the magic pouring over for me in every issue, every single one of these 6 issues. I can't wait to talk about it later, but dude, it's a pleasure and glad to have you here. And guys, shout out to Ironcast here, continuing his great work doing all the thumbnails for the show. So you know what? Tonight we're gonna give our drinks off to Ironcaster. We got 25 people in the chat already. We've
Hey, I'll take
barely even got 25 people. We've barely even got started. So guys, to Ironcaster. Mm. Mm, 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 mm. Mm. Ooh, I felt that one. Oh,
yeah.
I felt that one. Whoo, worth it. Oh, what's up, RJ Godzilla 81? Man, that once again, yeah.
RJ,
I think the future is there's gotta be more Star Wars. People really want to hear about good Star Wars. What's up, Sean? Sean, we're gonna be talking soon. I know you had mentioned we want to talk some DC. I thought about some DC. We'll be talking, Sean. All right, it's gonna be great. So we're gonna follow up soon, sir. So, dudes, for those who have not been in the know, I know there's 20 plus of you in the chat. I want to fill you guys in on the gaps. In 2 weeks, we are going to be talking. We did a vote on which Mark Miller story to talk about, if it were to be Huck or Starlight. And we had about 50 votes, and Starlight won. So this will be on Friday, September 1st. We will be talking Starlight from Mark Miller and Goran Parlov. So if you know about it and you love it, which I know there's quite a few of you who did, please be here for when we talk Starlight from Mark Miller on September 1st. And if you don't know, I think it's safe to say, as someone who's now just finally getting to read this one myself, because I knew more about Huck, not as much about Starlight. I'm happy we're going to be talking about Starlight. Very Flash Gordon-y type of story. Very Flash Gordon. So
good. It's a
I
good
can't wait
comic.
to talk about it. It's going to be a fun time in 2 weeks. So mark your calendars for September 1st, Starlight from Mark Miller. We're going to have a blast. And dude, look at that cover. Oh man, I love that cover too. I had to
Yeah,
I look at his hand. I'm like, hold on, is that his hand? The blade at first, I actually thought that was his actual hand. The blade. Oh no, he's got
yeah.
normal hands.
That was a pretty good comic. What I got to read of it. I think I missed the last issue or two. It took forever to
Mhm.
come out back when it was coming out.
Yeah.
this is something I have no knowledge of whatsoever. So I will be going to this book like completely blind.
Nice. I like this cover, folks. Yeah, check this out. And yes, for those who are in the current know, he is definitely part of the current Miller World crossover titled Big Game, and that second issue will be out next week. And we did get a glimpse of him in that first issue and what his role might be coming up in this story. And then there's already hints of Huck as well. So I'm excited because there's a lot of characters, and well, it's gonna be a kind of a tall order to pull off. Kind of a tall order with all these characters crossing over for the first time. And it's one of those things where a crossover actually feels special because you've never really had, there's been like nods and references in his books. Like you'll read like Huck actually, and maybe there might be a nod to that. Not being figurative here. I don't think there's actually any literal nods to anything in Huck, but I know in Reborn there's stuff, and I know in what was it recently? Nightclub, there was nods to Kick Ass. There's been stuff that's nodded to Wanted. Nemesis Reloaded had nods to Wanted as well. So yeah, it's cool that something like this happened. It actually feels like holy crap, this matters. Once again, that's something we've always talked about, is making books feel like they have story that are meaningful, that they matter. So yeah, once again, last time I'll say it, Starlight, September 1st. We're going to talk about this miniseries, and we're going to have fun doing it. So, all right, guys, we're 11 minutes in. We're ready to talk some Star Wars. We're just going to get going. We got people waiting here patiently, and they're being ever so flexible. I mean, ever so flexible. I think we owe it to them to get started now. And when the other dudes show up, they will be here, and it will be great. So, I think it's safe to say we should get going.
Should we set the stage here just a little bit for where and when this came out? This story, because I think that's sort of.
I will let you do the lead up to that. Let me upload the imagery, and I will let you guys are gonna fill in a lot of the context, so that will be fine by me. Let me get this.
You say is Loki Loki not joining us?
Oh. I haven't heard anything about him not joining us.
He's got the link, so if he's able to.
Oh, you got it to him? Okay. Yeah. Because he might be busy tonight. I mean, he's not doing his show. So. I don't know.
So suffice to say, the story originally came out in the original novel came out in 1991 as effectively the beginnings of what would later come to be known as the extended universe. As sort of a test grounds to see, well, do people even still want Star Wars? And I would say that many a year later, when they sold Star Wars Lucasfilm for some $4 billion, I'd say that was a resounding yes.
Oh, absolutely! You kidding me, dude? Of course.
You gotta remember, we're winding back the clock here. Before the sequels, before Disney, before the prequels, back when there was just 3 movies and a holiday special people did not talk about. We then got Heir to the Empire. So this book comes out in a world before just even the concept of things like midichlorian. Before a whole army of Jedis who survived the Order 66 purges.
Right.
It's just, and as this book tells us, there's also Leia.
Yes, Leia plays a massive part in this, and it's a very toxic part at times that would definitely not fly today. But I don't believe in this whole thing that these things are not allowed to happen. They happen with the Jason Momoas of the world, so they should definitely happen with the Carrie Fishers of the world. But carry on, if you got anything else.
Oh, so to set things here, and as the story starts off with as it begins, we're introduced to off the bat immediately to our main antagonist for what will become this trilogy. and one of the most iconic villains of Star Wars, ultimately, Grand Admiral Thrawn. This
legendary villain
who's managed to rise up the ranks and managed to take control of the remnants of the Empire, which has been, famously xenophobic. That this outsider, this non-human being, has come in and has gone on to become the ruler of all the shreds of the Empire. It's like, that tells you something right there. Just from that little bit, before you've even seen him do anything, it tells you, like, oh, this guy's got to be powerful. This guy's got to be something special just to be able to even be in this place.
I want to bring up, for these first issues right off the bat, the instantaneousness of knowing right away that's Luke Skywalker's voice. That's definitely the most Han Solo gets. Like, obviously, Zahn, when he writes Han Solo, I'm like, man, I can hear Harrison Ford in my head already saying each and every one of these lines. That is writing characters in character. And especially, like, I once again, every line, it felt like he had to have he studied these characters top to bottom. And like I said, I can't prove that, but what I get out of it, what it feels like to me, it feels like he really, really did his homework to make sure, okay, this happened, this didn't happen, what can I do? This feels like when he wrote this story, Zahn, and obviously Baron and the crew expanded on it, they really made sure that we had to keep in continuity, in lore. And obviously this is after the fall of the Empire. I'm like, wow, there's Luke's. I love the stuff that they do with these characters, and you see the relationships expanding and growing. And it feels like it picks right up. I don't know if it must not be too far off from Return of the Jedi, but it feels like I could just jump right in from after Return, and it feels like a glove. It's very seamless transitioning into the story, and it's just like, wow, I guess this is the transition. I don't know if that's factually accurate, but it feels that way to me. It just feels like a good, solid follow up to where Return of the Jedi was, and now this is the story going forward. Once again, assuming that it is, I might be wrong, but feels that way because it feels like, okay, that it's right exactly where I saw these characters where they left off, and they're still playing Fallout from events of that movie.
Yeah, I mean, just little things in there. For example, one of the last moments that gets brought up.
One of those events, the twins. Yep, that's one of them. Thank you, Lester.
When Han and Leia are communicating, basically over at the end of the series, there, for example, you have Leia telling Han, "I love you," and you have Han very much in character saying, "You too." Like, he won't say "I love you."
Yeah, that's still very Han Solo. It's so that's what I mean. Zahn had to me, if I'm Zahn, I would be having a blast writing Han Solo. He feels like the character to me that from reading this, that this had to have been the most fun character, right? Because Han gets to be the guy who gets to kind of be the one who's a bit of a pain in their ass, but at the end of the day, they still need him. So they put up with his attitude anyway, because they know he still means good at the end of the day, and he's still going to get the job done. He's definitely that guy who gets on your nerves, but he's still good for it at the end of the day. And man, I was like, wow, this is like, there's times I have to remind myself, like, this is a Star Wars, like, because Han definitely has some dialogue stealing moments. I'm not going to say scene stealing, but some dialogue stealing moments, and his banter with everyone, especially him and Lando, dude. It was like it felt like old times per se, and I'm like, wow, this is great. I love how this feels.
So apparently, I'm being corrected by chat by saying where Han does say "I love you." And it's like, I'll be honest, I don't remember him saying that.
What?
Yeah, I don't either.
When? What are you talking about?
What?
Han said, "I love you."
What?
Yeah, I guess he did.
Said it in Jedi, yeah, but not in Empire. They reversed it in Jedi. Remember?
He said, "I know." He said, "I know."
Not in Empire, but they reversed it in Jedi. When he said it to her, "I love you," she said, "I know."
It's been a while. It's probably time I go back through the original trilogy again, because I've totally forgotten about that.
Yeah, it was a lovely
Oh,
Sherry.
yeah, we got a lot of people correcting. There you go.
Made lovely
All
Sherry.
right, chat. We own the correcting. We own the correcting. So before we carry on, I want to say welcome to Keely Chow, Brightest Day, Oakley Vandal, Vulcan Lives, Sherry and Soul Assassin, and Midnight Mike had a quick question. Says, do they make a trade paperback of this series?
Mhm.
Yes, they do. Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
Oh, they did. I don't know if it's in
how-
print or not. Probably in
Yeah,
print.
That's I was about to get that. I don't know if it's still in print, but it is out there for sure. Factually, it's out
Yeah.
there. If you are resourceful and are willing to be, you will find it, my friend. You will find it. Welcome RSQ001. Hail. And we got a $12 super chat. Woo! From Lester San Jose, the Skeptic Tank for $12 says, hope this helps your pizza craving. Well, dude, that's very nice of you. Thank you for that $12, man. Pizza is for the genuine love, but I'll absolutely welcome a token of appreciation only to satisfy the craving even more so. Thank you, Lester, and welcome Office Girl as well, along with Dalu.
Hey.
All right. So I want Claudia, can we let you be the guy that does the narration of this scroll? Since you're good with the Marvel comics.
How would Stan Lee say it?
Oh, you had to go there, didn't you? All right. Here we go. Well, long ago in a galaxy that I created far, far away, or something like that. Heir to the Empire. Oh, sorry, I got that mixed up. Heir to the Empire. 5 years after the destruction of the second Death Star, after I blew it up, the Rebel Alliance has driven the remnants of the old Imperial Starfleet to a distant corner of the galaxy. I can't see it all now. The Alliance has established its fledgling government, the New Republic, in the old Imperial Palace on the planet Coruscant that I named. Remember that, folks. It's important for no reason. Princess Leia, Hubba Hubba, and Han Solo job married and expecting twin Jedis. Ooh. And Luke Skywalker is still sitting around like a little wallflower putz for some reason, has become the first of the long-awaited line of Jedi Knights. Coming at you, true believer.
That
Thank you.
was so scarily accurate, and I actually believed for a second it was us actual Stanley.
Well, we go that far. It's pretty over
that
the top.
no, I'm gonna go that far because that was
Thank you.
amazing. I'm not walking that back, and you know I won't walk that back.
Well, thank you.
That was too good.
I was a little over the top myself, but I can never tell.
Over the top is welcomed here. It's absolutely welcomed.
Thank
And
you,
hello,
true believer.
Darth Bacca and John Coppola. We have 5 Pico with an Canadian 5 says, for your information, the Thrawn trilogy and Dark Empire trilogy, the stories after that I don't like, are getting a Marvel Omni soon if you want those. Okay, well, there you go. Midnight Mike, you're wondering. There's your answer. All right. So thank you, 5 Pico, for the insight, and thank you for the Canadian 5. And Soul says here, the YouTube channel called Darth Angelus is making an animated series of Heir to the Empire. It's
That's
real
true.
good. Okay, I will have to look that up.
I was trying to look something up with it, and I want to typing in "Heir to the Empire." Now all I can imagine is Culture Casino.
Oh, so now we got our scroll. So okay,
Story
story-wise, I am in love with this. I'm gonna have a really weird take that might be kind of contrarian, kind of not. There's parts where I love the art, but there's parts where I'm not so sure about it. But I'm in love with the story, and I mean romantically in love with the story the entire time. There are parts where I feel like the smaller scenes, I don't know if they fit Star Wars, but yet when I see the big splashes, the splashes are all awesome to look at. When he has to draw in big detail that take up the pages, I don't know what it is, but I love the splashes. But I'm a little conflicted on some of the faces and some of the figures on some of the bodies. Now there's height accuracies, but there's some of the characters I think look a little weird. Nothing where it's like Tumblr bad. There's nothing nowhere near that caliber. but I guess for me, some of them could be a bit better. I think Han Solo is drawn really well here. I'm a little conflicted on the Leia drawing and Luke drawing. I love how the Wookiees are drawn. But once again, I love the splashes. So that to end that on a positive, I do love the splashes in this. And I'm sure if I read this, and I will, in chapter format, I will probably love it even more because I'm sure there's added details that we probably did not get in this comic. And I would love to know what that added detail is because this comic, once again, still I was absolutely over the moon about. And what's up, Steve Mitchum?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
There's something about it though that I think really kind of helps to make this stand out. It's all sort of a perspective with the art, with the way the faces are depicted. You have these long kind of long flat faces that seem to be really good for just these deep, insightful sort of figures. I mean, Thrawn is very much a evil Sherlock Holmes, and the captain here is his Watson.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's this guy who will study the art of these people, of a people he's trying to understand, to understand how they think, to be able to understand how do they strategize. If I know how they think, if I know what they do in their free, effectively with their free time, with the culture, the art, I know how they think. I know how they will act. I can beat them.
I love how Thrawn knows how his enemy thinks way too well. Thrawn, right off the bat, it's like I've not read much with Thrawn, but what I read off this storyline, I'm like, holy crap. These guys, the heroes, think that they have the drop on him, but he anticipates the hell of everybody's like, oh, they're creating a diversion. Don't fall for this diversion. They're trying to make me think one dead's over there, but they're really over there. I'm like, most villains would have fallen for that because that does take smart planning for a hero to think that, and most villains don't really think smart. Most villains just like to gloat with the occasional glimmer of intelligence when they're not being on their monologues. But Thrawn is just cold and calculated. He definitely has a kind of a Batman way of being ahead of these guys and how they're thinking. He just knows, and he is onto them every step of the damn way. And like Vader, at least Vader early on, he's heartless, and no one is exempt from being crushed from him if someone screws up. And we do see someone pay by example of that. And I want to mention it. Drunk. I just said drunk. C3PO, not drunk 3PO. C3PO. Oh God, I said that. I almost said it again. C3PO, not drunk. C3PO. Holy crap! Hearing Anthony Daniels' voice. Oh dear, dude.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
Oh, Master Luke. I can hear it all over these pages. And, you know, as I know he's definitely a character who could be a bit annoying for some, but I had a joy hearing Anthony Daniels' voice come to life in these issues. Even whether it was a small talk like this with Luke and Drunk, I just did it again. C3PO having a heart-to-heart. C3PO and Luke have a heart-to-heart about the necessity of, well, what they perceive as, having, I guess, authority around in terms of keeping everything aligned. I mean, that definitely doesn't work so well for Earth, but for here, maybe it does, but that's not the point. They do have a heart-to-heart that matters, and it's a thinker. It definitely makes you think about the situation, especially after the fall of the Empire. There does need to be some guidance towards how space does get handled.
would it help? Would it help to call him this one sober 3PO?
Sober 3PO. Yeah, I know he would be okay. The problem is, anytime I hear 3PO, sadly, I think of drunk before I think of C3 first. That's how bad it's gotten. And I did the same thing earlier too when I was reading Star Wars all week. I would keep saying to myself, and I had the same habit of mixing Steve Martin and Leslie Nielsen together. I've done that, and I still do that to this day. And now I've done that with Drunken C3. So great. Here I am. Anyways, back to the story. Clubby, anything you want to add to this issue and where it's at?
Well, just one of the things you talked about Thrawn anyway. First, or something. This one of them. If you're looking for some insights to his character, because he is great. I like how you're talking about. He was a sort of a Sherlock Holmes type. He constantly studies the art of cultures, both conquerors and conquered, because he believes you could learn everything. One of the things you could learn most about a culture or an enemy is their art, from their art, which is always, that's one of the many fascinating bits about him. But he believes in learning from mistakes. He's so analytical. He's such a logical character, ungoverned by emotion. That his whole being is that way. I mean, he's the only one of the few blue people of the Empire, but he's one of the rare ones because of his type. And his captain said to him, his captain made a suggestion. He says, "Congratulations, Captain Master Sebas." He likes their plan, so he goes with it. Oh, he said, "Master Sebas likes your plan, Captain." And the captain was like, "I apologize if I spoke out of turn." He says, "I'm not Lord Vader, Captain. My position and ego are not at stake here." In other words, yeah, I mean, if you make a suggestion and it's good, that's all he cares about. He's not a monster in that sense. He's very analytical, and then therefore he's even more scary because he's pure intellect. So
he's the evil Spock. Said he's the evil Spock.
He is an evil. There's no evil Spock, is there?
And we got another great character, at least for me, this is an introduction. Mara Jade. She's definitely, for me, when I see her, I'm like, okay, this is the deadly assassin type. This is someone who is very cold-blooded. She's almost like, I was like, I don't know if she becomes a hero later on. She feels like she has the look of a hero, but her character just screams cold-blooded villain who maybe isn't. Maybe she's just in it for herself. It could be a personal thing. She could be one of those great in the middle characters where she's just in it for herself and no one else, and she'll just go by any means necessary. That's what I got. So she's one of those two to me from what I got is that, but holy crap. And I was like, wow, they really don't write characters like that where it's about their own needs. And no, she's not a girl boss at all. She's just, because she gets tested later on in this book, and you're like, okay, she's not so perfect, but man, she's just like, she doesn't care about anyone, at least at this point in time. And I hope they never touch Marjorie. Okay, so there's investment for this character, clearly.
Yeah. Let's also not forget the most important part of this that I think Lord Thoth would be pointing out. She is, of course, a ginger.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If that character were adapted
She's super
today,
hottie.
we all know what would happen. We all know what would happen.
She aerialed.
Yeah, like every other ginger. Hashtag save gingers. Lord Thoth, if you're out there, we hear your cries. We hear them loud and clear. Man, I do like Thrawn in these pages. Maybe it's because it's my first proper grasp of this, but outside of Thrawn, I want to bring up this fellow right here. The fact that this is a guy who can talk with Luke and how's it pronounced again?
Sabath, I'll say.
Sabath. I wasn't sure. I'm
remember.
like, I think it's Sabath. I wasn't sure, but I'm like, okay, this is interesting. A guy who can communicate with Jedi, and there's a blocking of Jedi powers. What? That is crazy because I've not heard that touched upon anywhere. And welcome to the show, Fenrir.
Hey, buddy.
Hey there, gang. It's been a long time. How's it
Hey,
going?
bud.
Oh, I just got corrected. Thank you, Five Pico. He says it's pronounced
Sabia.
Sabayath. Sabayath.
Sabias?
I think that's what it
I'll
says.
roll with it.
Sabayath.
Works
I'll
for
go with
me.
it too. Yeah.
I could go ask my son, but I'm too lazy to walk in there and ask. He'd know, too. He's a Thrawn fanatic.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice. All right. And welcome TZ Burton and D Bud Martin, guys. Thank you
D
for bringing
Bud,
that
buddy.
huge crowd. I think this may be the biggest show we've already had. Geez, you guys are nuts. But Fenrir, did you I know you've not been here in a while, but did you read this series?
Well, I've read it more than once. First as the
Okay.
novel, and then as the
So you
comic
know
book.
a
I
little
must
bit about
say,
it. Oh,
Yeah,
I
he-
must say,
Sabayoth.
as someone who's actually
Sabayoth. Okay,
seen the
I
Star
stand corrected.
Wars, someone who's
Go on,
seen,
Fenrir.
someone who's seen the Star Wars cartoons, I gotta say, Disney really did not do Thrawn justice.
No.
He feels so much cooler here.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's times to get close with it, but it isn't quite the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I understand where they were going in the cartoons with his voice of strategic thinking, but I just gotta say, he feels more. He feels more like the master, like he's in control of every single move. I mean, even his strategy to go meet that Sabayath guy, it was well thought.
Well, actually,
Such a
to give one
great
little bit, to give one piece of pushback here, they did have Timothy Zahn do the Thrawn novels for the Disney canon. So it's like, so there is that same narrative voice to the character. The man who knows this character better than anyone else, who created him, got to then do the new novels. So there's that credit.
True, but there's just something, man. I mean, just look at the design they had here to the cartoon. You can feel gives you kind of this sensation of a demon-like strategist. You just look at the guy.
Those red eyes, man. But then there's Admiral Akbar. Dude. Having Admiral Akbar, I was just like, yes. Oh, I love seeing Admiral Akbar again. And even though they're trying to give him more of a leadership role, he's still gonna be, it's a trap. No matter how much you try. No, I do like his character. I do appreciate what they're trying to do for him. I get it. But to me, he will always be, it's kind of like Harold and Kumar. They will always be Harold and Kumar, no matter how much those actors expand out of their age, even if they prove to be talented and great at other things. It always, all roads lead back to Harold and Kumar the same way all roads lead back to It's a Trap. Though he is well written here.
Well, not only that. I mean, there's also, as his counterpart there, a Bothan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the spy master. They'd effectively be about the spy masters of the rebellion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one of the things that is kind of that I think is worth bringing up here with this book. These were the rebels, and now they're in charge. So they're having to change. They're having to play by different rules. They don't get to, They don't get
Go
to
guns
affect.
blazing first and think later.
Right. They don't get to kind of hide. They don't get to hide behind, well, we're fighting the evil empires. No, they are the government in charge. It's on them to maintain that rule and that order of law.
Mm-hmm. And even within that rule and order of law, they still have some issues because they arrive on this planet here, and right away, Han has to surrender his weapon, and either Luke is exempt or they don't notice that he's got a lightsaber on him. And obviously, anytime you go into unarmed territory, especially in Star Wars world, it's not going to go well. It's not going to go well. But carry on, Caster.
Yeah, no, I was just kind of pointing out that is a change here with the cast. Is they're now having to play these full on diplomats, meaning they now have to play by these sort of diplomatic rules. They have to follow the rules that are set in place by the cultures and peoples that they're trying to meet with.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really do enjoy this form of development of the new, well, let's say new galaxy. It's quite interesting. I specifically enjoy the part in the beginning where Han was at the bar and trying to get more assistance in all this. It's quite
Mhm.
interesting. Seeing the new world order and the new positions the guys have gotten. It's quite interesting. Quite smart.
Photo reference cover, but I still like it. I still like even though it's basically a photo reference cover, I still dig it. I'm with it. I don't know who did this cover, but
Looks like Dave Dorman.
Dave Dorman, you think so?
Probably.
Well, we're gonna find out. And welcome, Kings Portkel and
Could be wrong.
Beard of Liberty. Thank you for dropping in. We got a $20 super chat. I don't recognize you, Abdulio, but welcome to the Comic Shop Show. Thank you for the $2. Hell yeah. Says Ahsoka and Sabine will be the Luke. Mara stand-ins. I bet. Ooh,
That is so stupid.
unless
Oh,
I got
no.
Tom Connors saying, Nick, please watch this, or Comics Division saying, please watch this, I have no intention of watching it whatsoever. Especially since as I said at the beginning of the show, I've got a big revitalizing shot in the arm equivalent of reading this series and getting back into Star Wars again. The last thing I need is for some bad show to ruin my revitalization. So I'm gonna have to be kind of begged into this one. But dude, thank you for the $2, sir. And you probably are right. And welcome, Derek Kennedy, who I saw for the first time on Toxic Tuesday in the chat. Thank you for being here. So it says, great show as always. I appreciate it. So the credit of the cover, Ironcaster, as you said, was Mathieu Lafray. I think I sounded a sophisticated say. Mathieu Lafray. That sounds about right.
Yeah, he would also get to do some of like the Rogue Squadron covers.
Okay. Yeah, you're right here. Cover artist Mathieu. I think that's how it's pronounced. Okay,
It sounds either French Canadian to me, so that I'm sure Lord Thoth could probably say it perfectly.
Oh, he probably.
They're all ripping off Dorman anyway. That's what this one.
Yeah. You know what was a trip to see right off in this second issue? And once again, yes, it brings me back. I love seeing Luke in action and being kick ass and being the hero he is, fighting dudes, and then dude, I lost my shit because
The lightsaber
lost his
boomerang.
lightsaber and he did this. So when I was reading this a few days ago in my home, no one was home but me when I read this, and I straight up
You
was
jumped
like,
off like a little boy.
yes! I like seriously, like, it's a good thing like my girlfriend wasn't home. She probably would have came up with, hey, is everything okay? You don't understand. Luke lost a lightsaber this comic book and it was really cool. I lost my shit during this part. I geeked out hard. I straight up did. This is what I've wanted to see. And I was like, this was another like seals the deal that I need to read more Star Wars E because this is Luke Skywalker straight up. Oh, oh man, I can feel that adrenaline kicking in.
Well,
feeling a little macho man coming
Luke
in
we
with
never-
the Luke Skywalker moment.
Yeah. A Luke we never see enough of him.
We never see enough of the Luke moment that we need more of. Oh yeah.
You see, this is sort of the big unfortunate thing of sort of modern Star Wars, and it's just impossible to not bring it up for just the references. I'm kind of the opinion now that I think like the one thing they could do to truly reinvigorate Star Wars, a Luke Skywalker series. Like at this point, recast Mark Hamill or recast
Yeah,
Luke
we've been
Skywalker.
begging for that for years, but they never listen.
Yeah, if they could, if they did a Luke series about him, like found in the Jedi Order, like everyone would be coming out to see that.
Dude, I don't think they might actually come for that. I mean, we already know the end game. We all know they're not going to be true to it. We already know it'll be a failure from the start because we already know how these people think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, and that's true. Obviously, unabashedly, undebatably. And welcome the Angry Gamer. And in 5 Pico, we gotta talk on Gilded, man. Please, 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 and please. I am definitely interested. Especially, we'll make it easy. We'll start off if there's anything Luke oriented, and then whatever characters I get interested on the side, I'll expand off of that and ask you further knowledge. But right now, I'm happy to have my Luke Skywalker. We'll just say that, my Luke Skywalker. I like the sound of that.
Well, Zahn basically has started. It's interesting. Luke is, and this shows how you can show a character having problems and conflicts and being not necessarily at their peak without dragging them into the gutter the way the filthy Ryan Johnson and Ruins Johnson and Jar Jar Abrams did. He started out this thing. Luke is going through some things. This is 5 years later. They're trying to establish this government. Han Solo is a great character in here because he's moved on from what he was and he's growing and he's going in a forward direction. And Luke is struggling with what he's going to do next, but he's not sitting on an island somewhere crying like a biatch, acting like a punk. He's still
and drinking green milk
or any of that stuff. He's not. He's dealing with what's ahead of him. Are things perfect?
Straight
No,
out of
they
the
never.
teeth of some weird creature.
Right.
God, Disney
They're
did
not-
some shit.
Things aren't perfect. Is the point? But Luke and Han, they're dealing with it in the kind of mature manner that Timothy Zahn thinks they would, and that's what's great about it. And it's a very growing. A lot of the growing pains. This story in a far more logical and much more satisfactory way for these characters in this story.
And good that you bring up mature for. Hey, you guys saw the opening. God, I am too late on this. You guys read the opening in the first books, right, where Luke talked with R2.
Oh no, he talked with 3PO.
3PO,
yeah. Shit, my brain's
cool.
rotting here.
No, you're good, man. You're
Ah,
good.
I gotta quit.
We all make our mistakes here. We admit it.
I gotta quit soda. Yeah. On that part, it was a mature conversation, specifically as we saw about how the game. It was mature.
That's what I
There's
mean.
no
The
jokes
government
here,
conversation. Yeah. The government conversation, right, Fenrir? We were talking about that earlier.
that
They were
one.
having that heart to heart. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice that you could have a human and a robot have that type of conversation, and it feels like, wow, they're really having a serious talk, and you really feel like it's actually happening, because that's the whole thing. You're supposed to, when you're doing these sci-fi, it's like, how do you take the wildest thing but make you believe it's actually happening? And it those scenes right there, those small little scenes, make me feel like this is actually happening. That Luke is talking to a droid who's kind of a robot soul in distress, and it makes me believe they're having a heart to heart. That's a new term around these parts, robot soul in distress, because he's totally a robot soul in distress a lot of the times. I like our boy here, Shabayath's mission here. He's just like, okay, no, bro, you have your old thing here. He's not like Mara, from what I've gathered, where she's just all about her own thing. He just has a Jedi thing, and you can decide, is that personal, or is that a heritage cultural thing, or maybe a little bit of both. But man, I feel like these guys are ready to just almost turn on each other. Almost because like he's like, I'll work with you, but it feels like there's a little bit of a reluctance on his end that maybe you're not seeing yet at this point in time. And yes, RSQ, our boy Thrawn here does have some crazy ass eyes. And welcome your Muslim uncle. I see you, sir. Hopefully you are well.
Hey, buddy.
Klobby, got anything to add to the second issue and its dealio?
Nope. So far, just was a nice. Again, we're good. Are we already on the third one already?
We're actually gonna be up into the third issue soon, unless Cassie, you got anything to add to where we are at this point in time?
I mean, the thing is, it ultimately is like a chapter book, so it's just kind of easy. It's kind of hard to not get a little twisted and jumped around, but like you're saying, the fact that we have these two villains that are tumultuous, that are, for better or worse, forced to work together to reach their own end goals, where you know that they neither one fully trust the other, but they'll just use each other to meet those ends. It goes to show further that, for example, Thrawn, he cannot relax for a moment. He has to be able to always be at that peak optimal, like, pure intelligence. I cannot
And
make a
control
mistake.
mode.
Yes. Any little slip ups, Sabath is going to be there to take me out.
Yeah, you saw it too, right? Every single scene where he's with Sabath, he has that Yazlam creature, how the hell do you pronounce it, with him.
Amari? Yeah, you're right. Because he's got those Yasalamari lizards around his shoulders. It makes him virtually immune to the Force. He can't have his mind read. He can't be propelled
Force
around.
choked.
Yep. Although then again, he could still, like, just pick up like a chair and hurl it at him.
Good point.
So he's not completely immune here.
Yeah, but he's still in control because the majority of the other ways that he could probably take him out are off.
It's true.
Oh, look who's here. Pablo! No.
Say the line.
Pablo. Venus to Pablo.
He's probably too high.
And I actually agree with that. I feel like the design was to make Thrawn look the coolest. I agree with that 5 Pico. He feels like the
He
character I
definitely was.
appreciate the most. As far as the art design, I like the landscapes. I do like the landscapes. Yeah, Pablo. He should. Yeah, right. Say the line. I know. I need to get that Harvey Dent clip in The Dark Knight where he's like, "Say it, say it," like. Because he says that, Rachel, say it. I need to get that clip, that way we can play Harvey Dent to say it to Pablo. But
Howdy ho!
Oh, there it is.
Finally,
Meh.
microphone was not working.
Oh, it's a microphone issue. Okay. Dude, we're glad you're here, man. We're in the second issue talking about this, and you came right at a very pivotal moment here where Leia's doing training. Would you care to talk about the second issue?
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't read it in a long time, and I didn't have time because of what's going on my home, so I will go out of memory. But yeah, basically, Leia is actually training to be a Jedi.
A woman training? Actually having to earn it?
Yeah,
Preposterous.
it's like we didn't have Jocasta, I don't know, Shakti, real Jedi, like around. Yeah. Goddamn, I hate Korean fans. I have been in a couple of forums talking about the Star Wars out of late, but her training, at least if I remember correctly, at this point is not going well because she's not fully concentrated. She's thinking about the threat on Throne, on how everything is turning against her, or I'm mixing up with issue 4. Wait, can you remind me a bit, please? Just remind me a bit of what's going on, and I'll.
Yeah, well, in this scene, Leia's doing her personal training. Obviously, we got this whole big thing with Thrawn and Shabayath. Well, they have a frenemy thing going on.
They are team up, right?
Yes, they're teaming up. There's
Okay.
a bit of a frenemy thing going on there. and we got Mara Jade, who is, well, she's just her own individual who's just using whoever to get whatever. And then, of course, you got, this is a few years after Return of the Jedi, which was my educated guess. And turns out I was fairly close with it being 5 years after Return, to be specific. And
Yes.
Han Solo is the most Han Solo in these comics, and it's great.
Mara Jade is out doing whatever because basically she felt of the Empire. After the Empire dissolved, she needed something to do, and she was the right hand assassin for the Emperor. So right now she's basically kind of running. And spoiler alert, is not until she finds Luke and tries to kill him for the third time. Third time. Yeah, that she actually finds her path on the Force. Yeah. Other than that, issue 2. Oh, they are taking down the Falcon.
The ship that's not the Millennium Falcon that I thought was the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, and after Luke remembers Dagobah and yada yada. Okay, I finally remember where I am. No, this part of the story is basically they preparing themselves for the real action. Han Solo is being a bit rogue, but he is way more in tune with reality than in the movies. He's actually thinking on solving issues, not running away. Tron already has the space station. Oh, so yeah, I know where we are. Sorry
nice
that I'm
homage, are we?
Sorry, I'm not of much help. To be honest,
no, it's okay.
Yeah.
I know the other guys will remember this on the panel. The callback to this. This is a good way of using the callback. What's up, Jacob Ironside? I was like, oh hey, Luke's reminiscing about when he is back on this thing. I thought about it. I'm like, oh hey, I remember that. I feel like that is a more of a genius way of using a member berry or remember this, because it affects Luke and his memories of where he was at and where he's now going with his life.
The
So I
one
feel
to the
like this
cave
is
on
an
David.
effective way of using it.
Instead of a
Yeah, the
lazy
cave on
attempt to
David
get
Dagobah.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was substance to that berry. There was like, okay, I can see why they do it. There was importance to that callback. It wasn't just there just to be, hey, remember me type of thing. There was importance to that. The same way there was him and his memory of going to Dagobah. There was importance of this, and I love seeing that. And then he discovers of all the guys, Lando has something to do with it. And Lando, I love Billy D. Williams. And when I see Lando Calrissian, I get that Billy D. Williams voice all up in my head. I'm like, I could hear the swaggerness. I could hear the smoothness of my Lando Calrissian, the guy who's there, who's probably even more slick than Solo. He's definitely at the very minimum on equal measure. I maybe plays slightly smoother game. He definitely is maybe a bit of a smoother game because Han Solo could be a bit rougher on the edges with a good game, whereas Lando tries to be smooth all the way through. So I love having them finally get to Lando, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh hey, look how gorgeous the machinery is on this shot though. These are the shots where I was talking about. This is where I do enjoy the art. I'm like, damn, look at
point
these
you
things.
to
These
something
things
better.
feel massive to be around. I feel like I'm surrounded by something huge seeing this.
Yeah, but there's a detail that is really difficult that they got spot on. If you see the face of Chewbacca, normally if you want to do the profile of Chewbacca, a lot of artists make him more like a monkey. Can you see that the nose is a bit more round? The nose is a bit more round. That's the shape of the actual prosthesis from the actor. So yeah,
really
is perfect. Yep, that is a spot on.
Wow, hot dog, dude! I learned something new today, And I never thought, especially something like that. Who would have thought something so little that? And once again, I guess that brings it back to everyone who did their work on this, whether it's Timothy Zahn with the story and expanding out, or Baron, and I already missed the penciler's name, trying to be as detailed as possible to the likenesses of these characters. Talk about faithfulness and saying, "Hey, look at this, the nose of the character, the freaking nose." It's not even it's probably one of the more forgivable details us geeks and nerds would forgive. But the fact that they did that, it kind of gives those little extra points. Like, you got it. You freaking know how to draw a Wookiee nose. It's a small thing, but we appreciate that shit. Shout out,
Yeah,
my guys.
when you have to build the mask for the qualification for Rebel, you actually need to make it spot on, because there's a lot of small details that you need to have, including the alignment of Chewbacca has a middle line on his mustache that is really particular. So you need to have that completely perfect, because there's some people that actually have hair in the middle, and it shouldn't have any hair on the middle. It's like when you have one of those kids that use too much gel for the hair. Yeah, it's basically that on the mustache. Is really specific. And it kept exactly the same alignment in every single movie.
I like the costume they went with for Leia, because it's very much like Kitty Pryde looking.
Oh yeah, it's really sexy.
Dude, you nailed it. I was like looking at her suit. I'm like, man, I feel like I've seen this suit before. And I am aware of the Kitty Pryde suit. Holy crap, that makes so much sense. But carry on. I had to mention that as I'm refilling my glass.
I like with Lando here how he's basically, after he's moved on from Cloud City, he's like, yeah, I'm moving on to the next big thing, baby. He's got this whole operation where he's like, as you know, I think this is more the Cloud City thing, but he's doing the mining gas. He's always on to the next big scheme to keep the money flowing. And just getting to see little, the creative things like these sun ships that let them fly really close to the sun like this, where their ships would normally not be able to. It adds a interesting vulnerability, I feel. But of course, this is also winds up coincidentally being relevant to whatever plot Thrawn has in that little blue noggin of his.
The words, "they found us." That's a hell of an ending. That is, that's a, oh shit, here they come type of moment. I can't imagine having to wait on this one. Like, you sons of bitches. You made me wait on this. I like that.
One other little detail I want to bring up is when we got flashbacks to Jabba's pleasure barge. The way we got that little memorabilia that put in, but it's being tied into Mara Jade and to ultimately her story. So we're seeing this little foreshadowing there of what's to come, that she was there. But it's now affecting him. He's getting this premonition of things to come. And we too, as the readers, so we know that there's going to be this connection there. I mean, aside from, I think we remember we were also made mention that she has this grudge against Luke Skywalker. It's like, what did he do? Why does she hate Luke?
We'll find out, maybe.
And look at Chewie's mustache, man. That is a stash. It stands out from the rest of his fur. Holy crap. I didn't even notice that now that you guys brought it up. Now I can't unsee it. Wow.
To give Chewbacca a mustache, I mean that is a weird move.
I'm kind of with it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of with it. And what's up, Darth Plato? Nice to see you here. I'm with it. And you know what? It made
Hey.
sense that they brought Leia to this area because Wookiees are formidable sons of bitches. So this is probably the best place that they could try to at least succeed with this. Obviously, how that goes is, well, the time tells the story, but it makes sense. And since we have not had a chance to properly use their names, and we're going to do it because of the fairness sakes of the credits, Olivier Vatine and Fred Blankard were the pencilers and the colorists. Isabel Rabarot, I think. There you go. So there we hadn't had a chance to say their names yet.
And
so
of course,
there you go.
in the story, of course, which we've mentioned before, translated by the great Mike Barron from Timothy Zahn's novel.
Yes.
Both legends.
Oh, I know, right? Like, what a great way to like say, okay, who's gonna bring the story? Well, we'll just put another legend on. Oh, that works out. Okay, cool, no big deal. We got this. No, Baron, and obviously you could tell, Baron really. It seems like from what I've gathered. I mean, obviously you chapter book readers in the chat can tell me how much you feel Baron was faithful to Zahn's story here. I mean, this is my first version of the story. I'm going to read the chapter book next, and believe me, there will be a follow-up on that. Give me a few weeks. But I had so much fun with this just for the in-characterness of it all. I can imagine that I don't see Baron being a guy who would not be anything less than faithful. Then you got Five Pico saying it's very, very accurate. Okay. My case, there you go.
I mean, there are little things that do sort of get lost in the translation and the adaptation. For example, Luke has a moment where he talks with Ben as a Force ghost, and and where he's explaining how Ben is gonna have to go. He's gonna have to go be one with the Force, so he too will fade. So Luke won't be able to have that mentor there to be able to fall on in his times of need. It's time for Luke to step up.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this third issue. And Iodine 74. We got a lot of new faces tonight. It must be something about talking about Star Wars, but welcome to the show. It says that Chewie drawing is based on a common shot used in promo material for A New Hope. And yeah, the stash is prominent there too. Wow. Look at that. I love it. You talk about Star Wars and you bring all the awesome experts to the art. This is freaking awesome. Thank you guys for being here. This is awesome. And clearly Star Wars is something, especially EU, was in demand per se. And here's our boy here, dude. I felt a little bit of tension with Shabayev and Thrawn here. I felt a little bit of tension. I did enjoy their banter though, because it seems like both guys are not satisfied with the results so far, but they're still willing to, once again, reluctantly work together. That's so it seems like both don't want to be there dealing with each other, but they kind of have to. But man, I definitely felt the tension with this conversation. I was like, okay, these guys are absolute I'll tolerate you type of guys because you're a means to an end. You want to talk about when the using works both ways? Here you go. Right here. Fenrir, you got anything to add to this? As we got Mr. Calrissian here with a hell of an entrance, by the way. Nice suit. I love that suit on Lando.
Yeah, Lando back in the day was the master of the pizzazz, I gotta say.
Oh, right. He had that. He had like, to me, like he kind of gives me like a Ric Flair like thing where he comes in the room. He's got the energy. Everyone's watching him. He feels like he's in control of them. He grabs the balls of the room and he just owns.
He grabs the audience without even trying.
Yes.
And he grabs Leia.
Yeah. Well, we all know he has he is a slightly
I
more.
mean, it's just so
with the women
easy
in
to
his life.
forgive him for all the crap he did in the past. I mean, even stealing Han's wardrobe, you could just forget all that.
Mm-hmm.
He's just that good.
Yes, I love, and once again, he's got he dresses to impress. That's for sure. Yeah, right. Smoothest motherfucker around. You said it best. No, he really does. You see him, you feel his presence, and him and Solo. If they were able to at the time have a spinoff, I mean, you guys, EU lovers, I'm assuming it doesn't exist. If I'm wrong, I hope but man, couldn't Solo and Calrissian have been a hell of a team up book if that book were to exist? I would have been, oh man. You have two guys who love to play slick. One is smooth about it, the other is a little bit more we'll just say blunt about things. That could have played out for a great buddy.
Well, there are a
cop
lot of
type
good books
story.
that are done like that. Timothy Zahn's done a few. One of them was
okay.
Scoundrels, or one he did. I believe the
Okay.
Good. So yeah, there were a lot of good ones. Books, I mean, not comics.
Oh, on books, yeah. There's a lot.
Hey, I do like actual books.
Yeah, I'm just saying. No, I'm saying, yeah. Zahn's done so many good books.
Drinker's book, Dark Harvest. I really like that book. It was like World War Z meets 28 Days Later. It was very thriller-esque. It came off like a thriller. So
Sure.
I really enjoyed it. And yeah, I had a lot of tension, twists and turns, chills and thrills. So, anyways, let's carry on with the story because we got the awesome.
I see you, Maddie's daddy. I know what you mean, buddy. I'm with you. Actually, with you on that one.
And that's why I said I'm conflicted because there's parts I cannot do, but I love the splashes and I do like Thrawn.
I like it. I think his ship works pretty good.
Okay.
Jason.
Oh, our boy Jason here with a $2 says, "Have a rad weekend. Hail the chat." Jason,
Hail.
I'm waiting to hear updates on Jupiter 2. I want to know, man. I'm hoping the next, well, I'm not going to say much because that puts pressure. But I hope you're well, sir, and I can't wait for the follow-up issue because you gave us the hook, and now that we know the hook, I want to see what's going on. But thank you for the $2, sir, and you have an even better weekend as well. Hell yeah, you guys are really generous tonight with these super chats. Thank you very, very, very much. Helps old drunk Oculus Nick here enjoy the Star Wars and the Friday night hangouts with all of you gentlemen. Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Oh, anyways. Fenrir, did you have anything you want to add to this story and the story so far?
I
No.
at the moment have nothing, but I think I should bullshit through it. All right,
Bullshit through it.
I got nothing, but at least I wasted a couple of seconds. Send it to the other guy.
It's okay. We're gonna hand it to
I
another
know
guy
that feeling, bro.
named the Common Nerd. Well, we're on issue 3.
Hey.
How are you,
Ah,
sir?
you sick bastard!
I love it when you talk dirty to me, Fenrir. Do it some more. Yeah, sorry I'm late, guys. Had to eat
you're
eat
good,
dinner
man.
before
This is
I
the
came
first time
in,
you're ever
so-
late ever. It's okay.
Yeah, so culture needed a last minute guest, so I had to fill in for him for a little, or hang out with him for a little while. So I got a late
I'm
start
glad
to
you
dinner,
took
but
it.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
blame
me
you.
too. Yeah, he's a good dude. I like Culture a lot, but yeah, I did get a chance to read all 6 of these though, so I'm glad I
We're on
made it
issue 3.
right in time. Yeah, perfect.
So why don't you give us your thoughts on issue 3 with Calrissian being the smooth man and the translation of 3PO to Leia and all that? Why don't you give us your thoughts on this issue?
So
I had fun with this.
Yeah, I got a kick out of this. It's like, okay, last time we saw Lando, right? Like, if you've only seen the movies, last time you saw him, he's running Cloud City, right? Next time you find him, now he's running a whole nother operation. He's drilling into a giant planet, sucking up a bunch of stuff. And it's like, okay, well, he never stopped being a businessman. He just found a new business to move on after everything went sideways. And I loved that like 3PO's like complaining. He's like, I don't think this is right. We really shouldn't do this. This goes against my door. He's like, no, you're supposed to be speaking for your mistress. It's okay. That's the point. And like they just continually like to use him like later on throughout this issue, like using him to communicate, fake it so everybody thinks, she's at anybody that's listening in thinks it's Leia with them. And he keeps going, I really don't feel good about this. I really don't feel good about this. Like, all right, fine. We'll have him fix it when we're done with this. So yeah, that was that wasn't a way I thought of using 3PO, but I thought that was pretty entertaining. So yeah, fun issue. Fun getting back into these guys and seeing them actually be themselves, how they were properly portrayed.
Mm-hmm. Facts, my friend. Facts. And the banter, once again, as I was mentioning earlier, I love seeing Han and Lando play off each other, man. That's a dream spin-off story. If we could have ever, like, in retrospect, changed anything. I know Claudia, a few minutes before he got here, said that there were stories like that. And I'm definitely interested and curious. But in retrospect, if I could have one, it'd be these boys, because I could see them having their Tango and Cash moment, and I would be Tango and Cash in space, basically. I'd say Calrissian would be more the Kurt Russell, and Harrison Ford would be more the Stallone in that. No, I don't want those guys to really play those characters. Just giving a what's the word here? An analogy-based perspective on that. I think those would have been the roles for those
that will
guys.
be more Lethal Weapon then.
Well, and you also kind of get that in this issue too, when they start running
Mel
around.
Gibson. Harrison's Mel Gibson, not just because
go.
of his race, but because Harrison's more out of control. He's more out of control, like Mel Gibson.
Exactly.
That's true. Too.
Oh, I can't top that. Lethal Weapon comparison is best comparison. Damn, Pablo. Damn. Oh, that was good. Oh, good. 5. We're gonna be talking, man. And it's gonna be great. I can't wait. But, dude, now this is once again. This brings it back to parts where I do enjoy the art. I love the ships. I love the big ships. I love the battles, because I was complaining earlier about a lot of the faces. This is the parts where I love is the ships. I love the way the ships look. I love seeing the big stuff. I feel like obviously our pencilers have a good handle for the ships and space. I feel like space looks gorgeous, and it looks very Star Wars. And it's like I recognize it right away, and yet they maintain their own flavor with it. So I'm all about it for these regard. And yes, Bull Rush, I just made a Tango and Cash reference. I love
one of the nice things about this, you see, is it's not
this is a splash. As I mentioned earlier.
It's not just the classics. It's not just the classic ships either. There's new ones mixed in. There's an expansion of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and they look proper, like they actually fit in Star Wars. They look dirty, they look gritty, they look like they've been out on the outer rim, on the edges of space, smuggling, doing the kind of things
needs a
expect.
repair.
Right, exactly. Like it's not
alive.
some
That's
clean
basically
little
what you're
pre thing. They look what? Awry.
They look real.
Yeah, oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, they actually look real. They don't look like just some model and sitting in a store. That looks like something that's seen some shit.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of ships and stories like this. Like, for example, you ever seen Cowboy Bebop? That's the same beauty the ships there have. It feels used. It feels like it's seen shit.
Yeah, but that's a specific aesthetic. It is kind of like this space punk that has that exaggerated rust, that feeling of really being weathered, really being used, that in science fiction normally is not that well used, because they like things chromy and bright and really shiny. And Star Wars had that other side, that rogueness, especially if you go to the original shot of the cantina. you will see that even the guy that is with the werewolf mask looks really rough up, looks kind of poor, but also dirty from work, looks like he's used to having it rough. So that sensation is really important on Star Wars, and the contrast is the Empire, because the Empire is bright, is really shiny, really chromy, uses deep blacks, uses uh, really shine surfaces, and that gives you that sensation of no, they are powerful, they are new, they are that, and the rest of the people is just normal people doing whatever with the rusty card they have, and it's part of the magic of Star Wars, is that sensation that really communicates to other part of life. Yeah.
No,
Sorry.
no, dude. We can't top you, man. You're Pablo. You got the goods, man. This is a great Thrawn moment, even though it wasn't this guy's complete fault. Because and the
Correcting the
funny
error.
part is his superior admitted it. His superior admitted it, and still he took the fall. I was like,
That's
damn.
I remember that panel, man. It's fucked up.
dude. I thought he was gonna do that to the
freaking
officer.
dude.
Okay, now if this were written today, his superior would have said, "No, it's not my fault. It was this guy's fault, even though I'm the one who trained him." But in this, when in smart writing world, he admitted it, and yet he still took the fall for it. Wow, I felt the darkness in this scene. I was like,
Yeah, and dude, just look at those eyes and that panel. It feels like they're looking into your soul.
Okay. No, if this is issue 3, there's a lot of good art around,
It's 3.
including Naked Leia.
I think that's issue 4 or 5.
No, is it? No, that's issue 3, I remember.
We're
Okay,
on
this
issue
is
3
Luke
right
fixing
now.
the ship, fixing the X-wing, and he's all sent for the
Great
Jedi. There's
splash
no,
right here,
there's
though.
a
That's what I mean. I like the
Naked Leia.
splashes.
Yep.
I did say I like the splashes. This is one of them. I
Yeah,
do
this
like
looks
the
really
land
good.
around here. Okay. I was slightly wrong. I see what you're talking about, Pablo, of your memory. You would remember the stuff to the left.
Yeah, Naked Leia. Man,
Did we become Toxic Tuesday for a few seconds now?
just remember that for some reason Lucas convinced Carrie Fisher that in space there's no brass. So if you look at the wonderful shots of Carrie Fisher on Star Wars, on the original Star Wars, is a delight, because thin layers of cloth and Carrie Fisher on her prime is magic, man. It's just magic.
Oh,
It'll make a man of you.
And no, for the beginning of the movie, I think it is the first third or almost half of the movie. She didn't had anything actually taking care of the puppies, so they were bouncing around and moving all around, and you can see it on the shots. Yeah, then I think she used tape or something like that to actually secure them so they won't be as playful. That movie has a lot of layers of magic, man. A lot of layers of magic.
All righty. All right. We had 5 Pico's like, hang on, Egg, zoom in a bit. We need to do some mail, you guys.
4K version. 4K
Yeah.
version.
What's up, Poe Baby 74? Nice to see you here as well. We'll carry forward here as we see Leia go over with the Wookiees the plan, basically. I can't protect you. You can protect me. Oh, hold up. Wait. I saw something. What is that thing? It was there. I seen it. I seen it. See, all I heard was I seen it speaking. That one dude who talked about the black coffee and Zach and Miri. That's all I hear here. Well, to be fair, I don't know if they do or do not. You might have to ask George Lucas on that one.
No,
I don't know how
well,
that works.
you see, there's no bras in space. You don't need them.
And
Gravity and
not,
shit.
it was not only brass. She was completely commando, by the way.
Oh,
Lucas was a goddamn
just gotta love
genius.
that.
That's all I will say.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Okay. Anyways,
Yeah,
going
ridiculous.
forward with good old stranded Luke and R2, they think they got help, but this is where Luke's goodness
Hey,
kind of gets the best of him because he's on the ship with people who once again, they're not exactly the worst people, but their interests are, their interests. And one of them is, Mara Jade. And our boy here, whose name I have not looked up pronouncing, but you realize, oh damn, he's kind of screwed, man. He's kind of screwed. But this is what I mean when I say I'm not so sure of the faces. That's one of the panels that kind of made me cringe right there with Luke.
No,
Was that
yeah,
one? Like I said, I love the ships. I like a lot of the splashes, especially like when you see Luke in action, you see like the beheadings of bad guys. That's cool and all. But I see some of those faces, and I'm like,
Yeah, I can hear.
yeah. That's what I'm really conflicted because there's the parts I really like, but then I see it parts I'm like, oh, who? It reminds me of God, what was that guy who was in the 90s who I liked when he did Land? Salvador La Roca. I would like when he would draw land. I like when he draw land, but when he would draw some of his faces, I was like,
Yeah.
I did not like the faces on characters he would do. But when he would draw land, I would enjoy it. I'm like, I wonder if anyone else feels that way. I was like, is there that guy like when he draws like atmospheres and landscapes? You're like, oh, that's good. But then you see faces like, ooh, I felt like Kurt Russell who got violated in Imagination Land when I saw that Luke face. And that's a South Park reference for those not in the know with Imagination Land. There may be one who understands that.
No, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, things do ramp up this second half. And I'd argue the story is kind of one big long story that is meant to be, it was kind of written as a trade paper. Sorry, as a chapter book. So, of course, it was written as if it was a trade story before the trade was the trendy thing. But, man, once again, here's where I appreciate the landscapes. This is the stuff that I like. Once again, I'm like, damn. I really do feel like they are high up on the mount. I do feel like I'm up there with the gunmen. I do feel that. That's the beauty of the landscapes. But them faces, man. Yeah, I can't help but be conflicted. Kurt, stay away from those. He knows. RJ Godzilla, he knows. And all right, I saw your comment. Talon card. Okay.
Talon card.
I love how he knows the pronunciations. That is awesome. I
Talon card.
We have guys like you. Talon card. Okay.
I mean,
I do have to admit
of a Lando for this. He's sort of this shady smuggler that you don't quite know if you can trust. He's kind of playing both sides. You got to have someone who can kind of fill that role, the good bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I like Talon Card. He's got a great iconic look. He's got this great mullet.
He looks
the
like
handlebar mustache.
Yeah, it's a mix between Machete and I think Undertaker. Yeah, it's kind of Machete mixed with
like
Undertaker.
He needs to be played by Danny Trejo.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be perfect. I don't know. Danny Trejo might be a little short for that.
No.
He kind of reminds me of if Lobo looked more Caucasian. We'll say he looked like a Caucasian Lobo, and definitely didn't eat as many wolves because this guy kind of keeps his wolves equivalent well alive. But they do. I did like in certain angles the wolves because they they got look big and ugly and intimidating, and his wolves do look ugly and intimidating. Ah, see,
Yeah, that
It kind
face,
of
man.
and
reminds me
the Luke
of.
face, man, the Luke face really hurts it for me. The Luke face really hurts it for me.
I do really like that character though too. Just to kind of echo what Ironcaster was saying, that he's a very fun character throughout the entire thing because you're not quite sure what he's gonna do until he actually kind of does it. So, but you can see his conflicting ideology inside of his head. Well, what do I do? What do I do? And then at the end, it's like, oh, all right, well, I guess we're screwed. Let's just go ahead and do this. So yeah, the smuggler with a heart of gold.
I love how all these smugglers and dealers are like the most charismatic guys. I love it. And I think to be that type of guy who has to get into deals that involve a lot of risk, you do have to have that bit of a charm because it's like,
True.
well, you're doing deals that are complex and they're not exactly of a simple nature. So you have to be that part because otherwise
True.
you could be putting yourself into bad territory if you get, well, let's just say more like Han Solo about things. More like Han Solo. It could go badly. It can go very badly.
True. Plus, you need a lot of charisma to, boss around a bunch of guys and not to betray you.
Yeah. No, you want to do because you're the one who has the most of the game. So you had to put on that face of I guess being more caring towards your guys and trying to lean towards, hey, I trust you too. I'm in it for you too. Even if sometimes guys like Han mean it, but then there's guys, well, more so like our boy here, Caucasian Lobo. Well, he hasn't said it, but I think you could connect the dots and tell he's kind of more so in it for himself. And welcome, Dick Grayson, the Nightwing. Nice to see you here, sir.
Good to see you.
Yeah. And what's up,
Boy.
Dustin? Drop by and say huge. You know what? Since we got 27 in here, let's do it. That was amazing. That was a work of art. All right. Let's carry on.
Have you noticed that the artist really, really likes Mara Jade?
Oh, I think the art likes Mara, Organa, and Thrawn.
Yeah,
yeah.
but
Pattern, as far as the art visual style. Voice wise, I think Baron really, really took a liking most to Han and Lando. That's my opinion. But as far as drawing wise, yeah, it's those three.
I will point it out when we get to that panel. But there's a panel where you actually get an ass shot and then a boob shot for Mara Jade. Yeah, it's a straight that. Is the camera angle and everything is straight that. And I remember when they had Sabak and was interesting. Yeah, they tried to use it on Solo. It was shit. And they didn't even keep the rules from the PlayStation 1 game. So yeah.
And welcome to the show, 5 picoseconds. What's up, man?
Hello there.
What's up, all?
Dude.
Oh, a new face.
Nice sounding mic.
Thank you.
Welcome.
You've been hanging out in the chat, killing you with all the comments. It only just makes sense that you're a part of this conversation.
I love this book. It's great.
Well, talk to us about this card game here and Han Solo trying to blend in and it not, well, going good because of course it doesn't.
Yeah, I really can't see what he was going for here.
He's just Han Solo. Does a little gambling here and there, as you do, trying to recruit some other smugglers to the, I guess not the Rebel cause anymore. It'd be the New Republic cause, but
take the fall for his actions.
Exactly.
To be part of the government.
Go with us and go legit.
Come on. Be
Come
good. Be good
on.
like me.
Yeah,
Well,
you can come with me and pay taxes.
no, if you think
gonna be
about
great.
what they are doing, actually makes a lot of sense because Tron right now has a lot of support from other planets and is starting to
Mhm.
create an actual alliance that may take control. So going for the people that move goods away from the system is a really good move. And is one of the
Mhm.
moves that later is revealed that Leia is gathering that support because you need access to weapons, you need access to a lot of materials, and you need access to information. So securing a route of just smugglers and thieves is a really good move.
Or even just like ships to supply worlds that have been devastated by the Empire. Because at this point, I guess timeline wise, it'd be about half the galaxy is controlled by the Empire, and
Yeah,
half is
actually,
the New
more
Republic.
than half of the galaxy at this point.
Yeah, more.
But
It's a little more than half is the New Republic, but effectively half, and then right after this is it's another can of worms that we'll get to later. But
yeah, because there's an interesting play. First, you have basically the orders of the Emperor going back, even with the Emperor dead. The Emperor has a clone, but there's not.
okay,
That's not for this one.
yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah,
We'll get there when we get there.
but yeah, he's basically still moving some things in the background, even being dead. And at the same time, you have Throne that wants to actually build something and has this grandiose plan to have control over what used to be the Empire. And he has the contacts and he has the knowledge to actually make the planets start to work for him. So it's not about really having the power to break them, it's about offering enough that they don't need to be broken. And because
Mhm.
of that, he's gaining control of all the trade routes, and that's been a cheese that is one. I know that sounds like food, like cheese. No, it's cheese. Double S is the species of Tron. He was supposed to be an outsider from the Empire. He was supposed to be an outcast for the Empire because he's from one of the species that was seen as lesser from Palpatine. And
Mhm.
he at this point has all the contacts and has all the knowledge to make what the Emperor could not do, actually make people work together in a coherent manner, in a really really intelligent manner. So people are cooperating economically, and that's why so many are joining the new Empire, the Throne version of the Empire, because it makes sense. It's a good
Mhm.
economic move. It's
Mhm.
intelligent. So you go for it. And securing, because of that, a lot of the roads are being blockaded and have a lot of issues on securing a lot of materials and especially resources to keep people alive. So having all these backdoor deals and all these secret trade routes is a smart move, and is the play that Lei is doing, is basically making all the underground work to maintain stability where the New Republic can't.
Mhm.
Good night. I love you.
I love you too.
Okay.
Oh. Oh.
Wasn't
I love you
expecting.
Ah.
guys.
Yeah, I love you too, man.
Wow. Once again, we went to Toxic Tuesday territory with that. We became was that a very homoerotic comment you were trying to lead with? Do I
Well,
do
I
I
mean,
need to
Yeah,
play a
I was
certain
gonna.
clip
dude.
because of that? Do we
Well,
There's
do we
I
something you
need
mean,
to
need to
there we
sell.
go. Yes, yes. Give me that. Where's Iron
You have
Cat?
the biggest dick I've ever seen on a man.
Where'd Iron Cast to go? It's not fun if I can't get home.
Never, ever, ever get old. Just like the movie I Love You Man with Paul Rudd and Jason Segel. He's like, I will see you there, or I will see you on another time. Peter, that didn't make any sense. Yeah, I'll be right over there. Anyways, we got Abdulio again with a nerd $2 says, We just need Lauren Connor on the panel. Well, I do not know of said Lauren Connor, but I would like to meet Lauren Connor, and that would be great to have Lauren Connor on. Is that someone who hangs out around Echo Base Network territory, Star Wars Theory territory? Is that someone else completely? I do not know, but let me know. But thank you for your $2, and yeah, you can just let me know for free. But I do appreciate your $2 super chats. But yeah, you can just tell me for free if you want, man. It's all good. It's all good, brother. All right, let's carry on. Pablo, your favorite moment of the toxicity, as
Yep.
there you go. You got what you wanted, and then you got an ugly
Exactly what I
beast
wanted.
buried underneath it all, looking like actually it looks like if you look from this angle, it's kind of looking up.
I gonna say this: Mara Jade's lightsaber is a stupid design on this comic, and whoever did the design is a masochist. Because no, if you actually try to use that handle because of the way that it's constructed, you will have a lot of pain in the palm of your hand. Most likely, it will just be unpractical to wield. It will really harm the user. So I know they were going for something like Ben Kenobi's lightsaber, but that's at the beginning of the hilt and is in a part that is not used with the hand. You shouldn't have that many open spaces with metal directly to the hand. Is stupid. And this is not the most awkward situation where I have been talking about lightsaber handles. Uh, the Ray Park situation was worse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do enjoy this moment with Luke though, because he's stuck in this room, and in this room, he realizes, oh crap, it doesn't run on electricity, but he realizes, oh hey, I got my hand. I'm gonna use that to try to bring a charge to getting out of here. I thought, damn, that's actually really cool. And it
He's a
lets you know
fanboy.
it lets you know, yes, Luke does have that hand, everything happened. But it's also like, hey, he's thinking outside the box of, hey, I'm kind of made of electricity to a small extent. Why
He's
not apply
resourceful.
myself to it? Literally apply myself. I thought that was damn cool. That was one of my favorite moments in this series, was seeing him do that and then make way to get him at R2. I was like, damn, that's really cool.
Yeah, he's a
Obviously,
farm boy. He's used to fixing stuff. He's actually used to working with power converters. So
mhm.
knowing how to rig something is part of his nature.
There's my answer. Lauren Connors from Echo Base on his own channel read through the Heir to the Empire books. You know,
Ooh.
I've not dropped by the Echo Base streams in a while. I'm gonna have to. I haven't talked to Nick in a while, and I should, because Nick was on a Toxic Tuesday, I think like a year back when we talked Bad Boys, and he was great to have on. I'd like to get in touch with him again, especially I'm sure the guys over there would like to talk good Star Wars. I know they've definitely been covering a lot of the modern stuff, and I know they're mostly not wild about it. I'm sure there's parts of it that I like, assuming. But no, I should definitely drop by there again and maybe get to know Lauren Connor as well. But yeah, thank you for letting me know, Abduli. I'm definitely going to remember that for the future, especially for EU content. That would, because I don't think this will be the last Star Wars show that we'll do. I think this will definitely be the first
This is the
of a
first of a
few.
trilogy, so it better not be.
No, we can't just not do that, Five. We can't just not. Nah, it was such a gift to read this story, and I'm glad we followed through on this, because gaining that love and that energy and that excitement for Star Wars and its richer universe of all these characters that you don't get to see and get to know, and with their personalities, even though you don't have the full backstory, it feels like you know who they are already. And I love that. I feel like, oh crap, I know about Shabayoth already, what his personality is like, Mara Jade, Admiral Thrawn. I'm like, this is righty, man. And wow. I have, and once again, I've said it before, I'll say it one last time. I grew up a Han Solo guy, and to see him be maximized in his Han Solo-ness, I felt like this book went all the way with the Han Solo-ness of it all. So, you're Caster. Welcome back.
Thank you. I was going to point out that like one of the nice things is a lot of the classic games will all that helped expand the EU games
There
like
you go.
Empire, games like
Dark Forces.
Dark Forces. I'm looking at my shelf now trying to grab something. Heck, Rebel Assault 2 will oftentimes go on sale all the time. You can get these old classic games like ridiculously cheap, like $2-3 off of like Good Old Games or Steam whenever they go on sale, and it's another chance to go get into this greater universe. Wait until you get to find out about Dash Rendar.
Oh, dude, I loved him in Shadows of the Empire. That's my only story of knowledge with him. But when I was a kid and that game came out, I was obsessed with it, especially that Boba Fett mission where you have to basically do a chase scene, the entire mission, and chase after Boba on your own jetpack. Dude, I would play that game obsessively just to get to that mission. I was hooked. And I remember at the Star Wars games was one of the few games that came from a movie where I enjoyed them at the time, because I remember The Empire Strikes Back. I remember those games, and I had so much fun with those games. Those Star Wars video games, so good. You guys are once again. You're giving me a few shots in the arm. I'm feeling like a drug addict tonight,
Just wait. You've only scratched the surface. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, great! So I'm gonna be like a crack.
Okay, 2 more words. Rogue Squadron.
Yes, please.
The comic, the novel series, or the game?
Yes.
There's all 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
The answer is just yes.
Yeah.
I love that. Yes. Man, well, no, if I ever get a chance in my life where I could do serious gaming again, I would like to try and play some of those games along with some TMNT. Well,
Jedi Academy.
one day.
Please play Jedi Academy. It's one of my favorite Star Wars games.
RJ Godzilla, I don't mean to sound like I'm correcting you, and forgive me, but I think we mean for Lucasfilm, the Lucasfilm, to be doing a Dash Rendar movie. I remember being 9 years old and saying, why is there not a movie on Dash Rendar? That 9-year-old in me kind of crushed. And that was right around the time when they had put out the digitally remastered and THX sound that they would play before the movie started.
Just blow out your ears.
Sound. And that was when they put out the special, because I did go see all those in theaters, because that's my first time of seeing those in the theater. So I saw all 3 of them, because that was at a time where kids could go outside on their own. And I'd go see all those movies at the theaters myself, and they let me in. It was great. But
Couch Tarn.
I know. And now, dude, that was in a neighborhood that was right next to Chirac, and I did that.
Those were the days.
Yeah, right. Those were the days. And going forward, Luke gets out. Oh, I love seeing that. Once again, letting you know, continuity playing off at best. He gets out. Our boy gets out, and he hacks out quickly, only to, he has a short run until Mara's there, because of course she's there. She's like, bro, you ain't hiding from me. And neither was that hiding.
Ain't
either.
hiding that. Ain't hiding that. That's for sure. You certainly ain't
Oh,
hiding
you
that.
cannot hide that, man.
So
I was trying to sneak up on Luke Skywalker with the clapping of my dummy thick ass.
No, actually, Mara Jade is really, really intelligent in this one. She actually lets her ship crash. to trap Luke. So yeah, she has the ass and the brains.
A great mixture, I must say.
Yeah, and actually she has a gigantic grudge because, well, first Luke interfere with the Empire and sabotage a lot of her missions, and then basically destroy the Empire, and now she's jobless. So yeah, she's that bitchy because basically that. She's like, you defeated me and also killed my job. They took our
There's a
jobs.
spoiler in the chat.
Oh, yep.
Chirac
And she,
versus the Empire. Who would win? This would be the embodiment definition of let them fight. Let them fight. I will say nothing. No, I will give it to the Shirakis. We did have a lot of mobsters and gangsters that we did grow up on. So some of them might have well, as Common Nerd said, a better shot than the stormtroopers did. So they do have hood cred because they're willing to go out there with nothing to shield them, whereas the stormtroopers, they need all the armor and protection. The Shiraki guys are kind of like a Florida man in a way. They don't need no protection. They'll go out there full skin. Some might even go with their shirts off even and get so confident. Just kind of be like that one. What's that Jean-Claude Van Damme movie where everyone screams? Cyborg. Everyone just screams the entire movie. There's barely like 100 words spoken the entire movie because everyone's just like, oh, that would be Chirac versus the Empire. Chiraki guys would just scream.
Since
Yeah.
we are
Yeah.
just crossing over franchises, I will throw a really interesting curveball. All the fight is a plan from the Daleks.
What?
Yeah, if you are going to use a lot of franchises, you may as well use Doctor Who. So all the fight is a plan from the
Okay, I get
Daleks.
what
They
you're saying.
want, they want both of them dead.
Okay. I'm with it. So once again, what I love about these splash pages, it looked once again, I love seeing the water and the trees. I feel like there was a care that was put into the detail of the trees and the water and the rocks. I don't feel like it equated equally to well the faces on most characters. Most characters. I feel like I see the rocks and the trees. I'm like, wow, it feels very like I'm almost at like a nature preserve, but in Star Wars land. It makes me almost kind of want to live in it a little. And it's so like nice and homey looking, even though there's a lot of sketchy personality involved.
Well, there are two artists on this book, right? So maybe one of them did the backgrounds and one of them did the actual people.
Maybe that's what that could be why because maybe there could be certain things that one's doing versus the other. But I once again I appreciate the land. I really do.
That looks glorious. It looks like somewhere would be great to go camping. Like you want to get your camping gear and go on up in the mountains.
Hey,
Like, let's go.
guys, get your camping here. Grand Admiral Thrawn over there on the left. He's got always cooking, but you might have to be the one that gets eaten. If you're willing to take that chance, come on down.
Yeah, don't mind all the crazy monsters out there in the woods. Don't worry about those. They're friendly.
Oh, the
And the
Wookiees
shifty
will
guys.
be fine. They only eat 1 out of 10 out of every one of you. So most of you will be lucky. It was just
Most of you will survive. Most of you will survive, so it's okay.
Oh,
Emphasis on most.
Yeah, exactly. Are you feeling lucky today? Is it your lucky day? We're gonna find out.
oh, are you going dirty Harry? And here's once
lucky
again
punk.
another great way of formatting. I'm sure when Baron had to do the comic version of this, he definitely is like, how do I format this to make every issue's ending feel like a cliffhanger? And man, each issue he succeeded because that was like, oh damn, that's Mara Jade right there. You know, that's her hand. That's her
gun.
weapon. Okay, that's definitely her. And I'm all about the second to the last issue. Oh, let me go back here. That was Olivia Vittine and Fred Blankard here. Those were the guy. Mathieu Loffre. was the cover artist once again. There's something that fits more about the stoicness of Mara. I don't know if it's something that maybe it's because this is the first iteration of the character versus all these tokenized versions of stoic female characters, but something about this where I'm like, okay, I can roll with this. Or maybe it's because she gives off more of a deadly assassin vibe here, almost like an
Yeah.
Elektra type of feel versus like a Captain Marvel feel. She comes off more Electra-y in that sense, but in space. I feel
Well-
there's definitely something there's a merit to her character, Mike, and I can't point out, man. I think I'm just gonna go with the Electra side of it.
You are on point, but
You are very much on point.
yeah, basically she was a secret division that only worked for the emperor. That was a group of assassins that actually are force sensitive and are trained to be the best of the best. Actually, the emperor was secretly thinking about taking out Vader at one point, and one of the characters that was a candidate for that was Mara Jade. So she has been trained in basically every skill that you can imagine, and she's absolutely in control of every situation. That's the coolness of Mara Jade. She is actually a badass. She's pure badass and pure ass. So
Yeah, she's also hot.
Both figuratively and literally.
Yeah, that's
All right, we'll care because in this issue, once again, what I like, despite things that I've already said in other issues, it really expands on her motivations and why she is there. And they're like, oh, damn. They're taking stuff that already happened in another story and kind of adding not like a retcon, but they're adding more details to something that happened in a movie. I was like, oh, okay. I like that aspect. The fact that she was there during the events of Jabba and Luke come in to get Han out of Carbonite. I was like, that is damn cool that she was supposed to be, that was supposed to be her thing. I'm like, oh, okay. That changes how I see this whole thing about her. Okay. That's damn cool. So I was like, I really thought, as far as a storytelling sense, I guess you could say this is my favorite issue. Isn't that right? Because it finds like, okay, this makes a whole lot of sense about why she is the way she is. She is taking this is a very personal thing for her. Because I was like, is this personal? Is this for someone else? Is this just for the thrill? Because Han's more of like a thrill guy, but you realize this is a personal thing for her. And like, okay, I get, because some people, they love being go-getters in that sense that they want the credit for the fight. They want to be the one that said, yeah, I took care of the dirty work. This was her dirty work. And the fact that someone got done, she don't care that someone got done. She wants to be the one in credit for it. And you know what? I'm with that, man. I support the motivation. So I'm with that. Ironcaster, go on about this issue.
Yeah, I mean, this is where this is that penultimate issue where we're finally getting a lot of the story beats that are finally where everything's really starting to come together finally. Like our heroes are starting to get all the information together that they need. Luke finally knows just why it is that Mara Jade hates him so much, because she wanted being some of that fallout from the events of the original trilogy of it all, that she shows that they've effectively that doing what they did, overthrowing the Empire, does have its consequences. That this was someone who was hurt by all that, and here she is now. She's lost all motivation she had basically cast out with nowhere to go, and she blames him. It was effectively like she lost that connection to the Emperor. She was completely cut off, like lost.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, this is also a bit here where we get to have them alone together in the woods, where she gets to know him, and what would later be said that this is like sort of the moment where for Mara Jade, her perception of Luke completely changes.
And we get some hideous beast with the blood red jaw and teeth. Damn. That is a demented looking beast. Holy damn, dude.
It's a
That's
dragon.
important, sir.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, anything else, Caster? Or shall I pass the baton?
Just that I love with them trying to disguise Luke. She gets a chance to get a little revenge on him and has him like basically rub poison ivy all over his face and arms to really like make him puff up.
Oh, dude, right? I was like, what the hell is she doing? She's like, go with it. It's gonna work. And well, I can't knock on the results. I can't knock on the results. Though that is a hell of a risk to take, because what if that shit didn't wear off?
Right.
Bro, the resentment would. Oh, that would probably actually bring Luke to the dark side. Straight up. That might actually do it. You want to have a genuine way of doing it? The ultimate deception. I'm going to give you something that looks like you have disease written all over your face. And I say it would be temporary, but it's actually permanent. Man, it sounds like something the government would say to us.
Also, real quick, just to bring this up, Release the McCracken was kind enough to provide.
Oh, did McCracken make a meme?
I posted in the private chat if you wanted to know.
Oh, is that what you put in there?
All right, hold up. Oh, I see it. Okay,
That's beautiful.
all right, chat. We're gonna share it. And while we're doing that, what's up, Abagor and Snowdub? I see you two amazing gentlemen. And yes, Heir to the Empire. Release McCracken, if you're out there listening. Thank you for this glorious meme. This is wonderful to see. Heir to the Empire.
I hope
to my friend who I give a lot of shit to, Culture Casino. Culture, we're friends. I swear we're friends. Hey, there's Release McCracken. There he is.
There he is.
But dude, Heir to the Empire, absolutely glorious. Thank you very much, sir. Oh, where is my?
That is glorious. That is.
I know.
That was absolutely glorious.
Culture earned the ribbing.
I like how you even gave him a little scar.
I agree.
Right? Wasn't that? Yeah, just like
I agree.
Just like Anakin. Just like Anakin. Yeah.
I'm not gonna disagree to this. Like, what the hell? You think I'm like, oh no, he don't do. No, he does. He does. Oh my god, the cock.
Hey,
All
man,
right.
getting memed is how you know you made it. You know what I mean?
Oh
That's how you
yeah,
know it.
right.
Yeah, means you've been immortalized.
Oh, culture has been immortalized. If anyone's been memed to hell, not only does he get memed to hell, but I'd say about 95% of the memers, not only do they meme him, but they always make him a lady.
Quick question: anyone else has been reading this guy like it was Macho Man Randy Savage?
I kind of got more of like a Lobo vibe, but I can actually see why you could get some Randy Savage.
Dude,
on
when
it,
I read
to be
Lobo,
fair.
I only hear Macho Man.
See, for my own internal monologue for Talon Card, he has this almost Ricardo Montalban kind of Spaniard sort of.
Yeah, see that.
That's what he has in
what I
the
was thinking,
audiobook,
like,
actually.
Oh yeah, because I was thinking like
Ooh.
South American drug cartel lord or something is kind of what I was
Kind of
thinking.
like this. It's
Yes.
yeah, that's how he sounds like in the audiobook. It's really
That's
really
awesome.
good.
Yeah, because I looked at him and I thought I was like, oh, he looks like a Mexican. He looks like one of my folk.
All right,
just with Nick's facial hair.
Oh. No, and culture deserves a challenge. It should blow up. You know why? He has been busting tail putting out 2 to 3 videos a day yeah, it makes sense that he's blowing, and as he should.
Mhm.
When you're putting out that type of content and good content a day, when it's actually good, he deserves it. If I could get to a point where I can put out a video or two a day, hopefully I can get at least half the results that he has. So I'm lucky if I could do one or two a week, but hopefully I'll get to a point in life, and I'm trying. I'm trying to get to a point where I could be in the position where I could post more daily, because I'm like, if I do it, I believe I can get at least somewhere close to that guy. And I know I can. I just gotta get to that point. So fingers crossed on that, but we got a story to continue, and we got some toxicity to unveil, because a
Yes, we
creature
do.
And
kind
you
of
have the
gave
hair.
Leia a rude awakening, and dude, she sliced that son of a bitch up. And you know what?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
deserved it. I'm gonna say it.
yeah.
He deserved it. Fuck this bastard. He woke her up. You don't
Getting her
wake
to
up
see-
Leia.
Getting
What?
to see her do her Jedi thing is always so much fun, and then to get to watch her do it in her underwear is even better.
And it
course it is.
stays that way.
Yeah, exactly.
stays.
The whole
There's
they can
all
take,
these.
like,
Good.
I was gonna say you could have stopped at any point, like after all of this, for her to put some pants on or something. They're like, nah, they're kind of like walking out to almost like a balcony area, looking around, just seeing find if there's any more bad guys. It's like, no big deal. Don't worry about it. They're all Wookiees. They're not attracted to her anyway. So
Yeah, she's all in on the moment of this. I was like, wow, they really went all in on the toxicity of this
100%.
moment. I was like, of course they did.
But
Even as she's
okay,
talking this beast.
I'm
This
about to
guy.
be really nerd in this. I exactly that. Dude, in
Underwear
space,
ninja.
from the rules that George Lucas set up, there's no underwear on space. So we should have seen everything.
Oh,
I believe he's
That is-
specifically talking about bras, though.
No, also
I know he said underwear, but I think he means bra.
Carrie Fisher wasn't wearing anything, so
I mean, it's-
kinda, man. But
Well,
yeah, here Leia should be more. How do I say it? More fresh, especially with the heat of Kashyyyk.
I really did like this scene though. It's like kind of like the throwback that creature is like, I'll follow you because you're Vader's daughter.
And
You know,
Leia
and she-
taking
and she-
that position.
Yeah, and she leans right into it. She's like, okay, fine. If this is how it's got to be, then fine. You know,
I like
and
how
I
he
thought- I got a
closes
kick
out
of
the
that.
conversation with referring to her as a Vader.
Lady,
I was like,
yeah, Lady Vader,
bro,
Lady
yeah,
Vader.
right here,
That was
Lady
so cool.
Vader.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, damn.
Foreshadowing, maybe.
Even if
Well,
it's
kinda.
not, it's the fact that I thought for me, I got the idea that he was playing into her emotions because she knows how rotten he became. And so he thought, why not throw an emotional like blow at her with that type of comment? Because that's supposed to be the what gets under her skin type of comment.
Yeah. But you can see she's still being the tactile politician and kind of general at the exact same time. Because she's like, if there's a chance we can wrest control away from the Empire and they'll actually follow me and I can control them, then it's a chance worth taking. You know, so I like that showing that she's still that leader at the end of the day.
Anything I can use to an advantage.
Absolutely. Strong female done properly.
Mm-hmm. And along with Mara Jade too.
100%.
She sees Beast come in and she just goes straight for the kill. But also she's no Mary Sue at the same time because, well, she has a moment where she's a bit threatened too. And you see what happens right here. The beast is stuck right on there and, well, faces. But anyways, we'll forget faces because great story. And Luke does more Luke greatness here. And he's like, all right, bitch, get over here. I'm taking your head too. And I'm like, I love it. Luke just goes for the head with all these bastards.
Oh yeah.
Thor should
listen. Thor should listen when Thanos said he should have gone for the head. Look at the results Luke got when he went for the head.
By the way, look how great that panel is drawn.
I do
The
like the
most-
panel. That's the stuff I do like is when he slashes right into the beast. I like that. I do like that.
Yeah, that's glorious. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Oh, RSQ's got a great comment here. So it's from the book. It was not meant to be a digging at her.
We'll get
Yeah.
there. I didn't want to say anything yet.
Oh, well, it looks like RSQ went for it.
I
Very
was keep beat you to
traditional
it.
society, and Vader was part of that tradition. So, okay, and
Ah.
I believe that too. I don't doubt that one bit. And it just goes to
RJ.
show you, a lot of people were really vested in the story that they had to chime in, that they don't
Oh, yeah.
want to.
Oh
wait.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Don't want anything misconstrued.
Mm-mm.
I like RJ Godzilla. He's like, oh, she leaned into it.
Yeah, this is probably the one issue we're reading.
There's my werewolf.
Too much of a cliffhanger. But you know what? It's okay because we're at the finish line here.
Yes,
We're at the finish line. You know what? I'm gonna let the common nerds soak into the finish line here.
Wow. Well, this was fun. I'm glad I got a chance to read all 6 of these before all this started. But yeah, like everybody was talking about earlier, this is absolutely hilarious. And once again, Pablo's gonna love this middle panel, of course, no doubt about it.
Mhm.
But just like I love the fact that they're like, okay, yeah, we're gonna trade clothes. We're actually gonna have to follow the plan, because I really like that whole little kind of speech from C-3PO and that little message that they sent through there earlier. So the coming up with the plan and everything else. And then the fact, one of the things that I really enjoyed about this issue is seeing our little Colombian drug lord, see him actually finally have to go, well, I guess I got to do the right thing. They're my guests. I have to protect them. Like, he's got that honorable trait to him. And even though he was trying to stay neutral and trying to kind of like, play both sides to a certain degree, he's like, well, at the end of the day, my word's my word. And so I basically he ends up getting forced to pick a side because he's still an honorable man. And so I thought that was really cool. And then one of the other great scenes that I think's in this one in particular is, and it's also a straight throwback to the very first issue too of this, Luke showing off his lightsaber not batarang, but well, I guess you could say it's batarang, but what's the Australian thingy?
Boomerang.
Where's
Boomerang.
Yeah, boomerang. Thank you. I don't know why I was having a brain fart all of a sudden. But yeah, doing his boomerang with a lightsaber, I thought that was absolutely a lot of fun. I thought that was really cool to see. Showing him murder off some people. But yeah, this was a fun little episode. The story's great. Like I said, the art, the landscapes are gorgeous, the spaceships are gorgeous. But yeah, the faces could use a little work. But I mean, I was enjoying the story so much that part didn't really bug me at all. But yeah, this was a pleasure. So if we scroll down, I'm sure I'll figure something else out to say too. But I'm sure everybody else has got things too.
I mean, with all this sort of against the backdrop of Thrawn basically figured out exactly what's going on, having studied them, understands them. He's basically maneuvered all this in place, where it's like, oh, why don't we go ahead and send out this squadron of stormtroopers? This should probably handle Luke adequately. And to be fair, it does. It works basically exactly like he intended.
Well, and that's one of the things I really liked about that, because prior to reading this, I didn't know much about Thrawn as a character outside of what I'd heard, from other people. And everybody was always like, oh yeah, he was a genius. He was really very calculating. He was like this military genius. And that was one of the things I even saw in like some of the early pages of the first issue, was showing how much of a threat he is and how smart he really is without it being arrogance. He's just telling you how everything's going to work and how he's going to defeat his enemies. And then he's like, this is why, and he's very, very tactile. And I thought that was I loved his character throughout this whole little 6-issue series.
What I really like about Thrawn is that he's not like some pansy. He's also like an evil bastard at the same time. Like, I think
you're
I
a
think it doesn't
little
actually mention it.
blurry. 5.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
shit.
roboting, buddy.
I think the robots are taking over.
Yeah.
Well,
The droid's
that's
got
a
him. The droid's got him.
Oh,
Hey.
let's give it a chance. You want to log back out and log back in? Usually that tends to work too. If that
Maybe
gives
try
you
turning it
trouble.
off
I don't know if it's a signal issue, but yeah, just go ahead and just slide out and then slide back in, man. right here. You have the
Oh, yeah.
link. You know what to do.
Getting more toxic already.
Yeah, right. Well, you know what, Caster. For me, I don't got too much to add besides that. I love how action packed this issue is. You get a backstab right here. Lando gets the shitty end, but dude, this issue is packing. That's for sure. This is the Big Bang issue. So
Okay, is it
definitely
fixed? I don't know.
perfect. You sound
Okay.
just
Yeah,
like the
much
way you
better.
walked in.
Okay, what I was
But
trying to
continue.
say was I like that Thrawn is actually like an evil bastard and not just some.
Oh damn, dude, it's coming back
Some-
again.
What the fuck?
Maybe it's something in the transmission.
Hold on, I'm
What the
gonna see if
fuck?
I can try. Hold on. I'm gonna try speaking again right now. I just adjusted your mic volume.
Is the Empire.
Okay. Hello.
Hello?
You're perfect.
I don't know. I don't know if it changed.
A little slightly
Really?
lower, but you sound clear.
Okay.
You're saying Thrawn evil
Okay.
bastard.
Yeah, Thrawn evil bastard. He's not afraid to kill people if need be. I don't think it mentioned it in this comic, but he also genocided another planet. I think that was in this book, not one of the other ones. I'm hoping I didn't spoil it.
A little bit of
That's all I was
spoil,
trying to
but
say.
it's okay because I'm gonna want to read into the book anyway, so that
Well, yeah,
works
I
out.
There's no details on that, so you'll see. You'll see. It's cool.
The R2
Another-
storage of the saber. Love seeing that pop back out the way it did in Return of the Jedi when he was on. Was it Endor? He was on when that sequence happened.
No, that was on
the
Jabba's
Queen.
palace.
Oh, sorry, Jabba's palace. Yeah, Jabba's
Yeah.
palace.
Yeah, because it was
Boba
funny because
Boba Fett,
Mara Jade
where? Ah!
because Mara Jade made a great comment earlier. She's like, I always wondered how you did that when she saw him stick it in R2D2. She's like, I always wondered how
Yeah.
you did that. That was great.
Oh, God,
Great
it's
I
the
thought that was
most-
a great little throwback because Return of the Jedi is my favorite out of the original. So I love that. great little
Oh,
throwback.
okay, cool. It's nice to hear one of those comments. I don't hear that often.
I just like seeing Luke in his full glory and like seeing him actually be powerful Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker. And that's what I like about the third one. That's the reason I like reading a lot of these comics. And like the other one, the Dark Empire or whatever by Dark Horse, that one too. That's because you get to see him in his full glory. So yeah, it's amazing to see. Like right here, this one right here. Well, once again, doing the lightsaber trick. Like that's freaking great. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I would point out that there was a little issue where like he goes to cut through the stormtrooper and then you get a like spurt of blood. So it's like lightsabers are supposed to cauterize, so that is something to point out.
It looks cooler on the page, Ironcaster.
I'll honestly let it go because rule of cool. Like I don't know, maybe like the armor cut into his throat.
Okay,
so
consider this. The amount of tissue that will be actually seared with the lightsaber depends on the amount of time that the lightsaber is in contact. If it's really fast, the tissue that is in contact with the laser or with the plasma, because in this canon, lightsabers were supposed to work using plasma, should actually vaporize instantly. But the layers around that tissue will still have some veins and some arteries that will be still alive. So there will be blood if the cut is really, really fast.
See, this is what I'm talking about. This is why we come to Comic Shop Talk to listen to nerds argue over whether or not a lightsaber would actually cauterize a wound as you cut somebody's head off.
That's something that has been really theorized from Star Wars, from the original movie, because when you are in the cantina, remember, there's an arm chop that has a lot of blood.
Oh, that's true.
No, in Star Wars, you already have instances in the first movie in Star Wars.
Yeah,
proper,
when he cuts his arm off.
Yeah, that after a cut with a lightsaber, you will get blood.
Yeah, because didn't like when the arm hit the ground, wasn't there like a little bit of
Yep.
blood coming out of it or something?
It's
Yeah,
a puddle of blood.
Yeah. So yeah, see, there you go. There should be blood, Ironcasters. Stop retconning with your Disney new plasma BS nonsense.
No, is laser. Previously, it was plasma. The system was this. There was a magnetic arc around the blade that contain a plasma beam. So that was the lightsaber, and because of the energy that was moving inside of the arc, there was centrifugal force against the movement of the blade. So you basically will need to be really strong and have really good reflexes to use a lightsaber, because it will literally pull against you and have the mass center right in the hill, so it will avoid you using any real move unless you are a Jedi or you are a Sith and you have trained to use that weapon. That's why nobody, not regular people, were using lightsabers left and right, because you actually needed to know how to use them. You basically use the momentum to cancel the centrifugal force and follow circular motions to make the blade follow a path and cut around that.
Nice.
I
I
do
love the
like
fact that you
this.
knew all of that.
I do like the design of the Space Stormtrooper. I thought this was a badass design, even though it's a very short-lived moment for it. I thought the design of it was really killer. I'm like, I'd own a figure of that. If there was one, I'd own it. I'm trippy with it because I like my oddball characters to have toys of anyways. So that would definitely be amongst the pantheon. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not a match for the Condor or Fancy Dan. But the Space Stormtrooper has a place now officially in my life.
Somebody call
Just
Hot
saying.
Toys.
Dude, if a hot toy comes of those, I'm doomed. Straight
Fancy
up
Dan.
doomed.
Fancy Dan hot toy.
Oh, I would love that. I straight up would. They just need to make me one personally. And you know what? It'll be but guys, just do it. You know you want to.
I saw Godzilla on the chat, and yes, they were kind of dumb, but those rules were really useful to keep low level characters from using lightsabers. Made the lightsabers special, and yes, that existed, and it was beautiful.
It exists.
It's probably not even expensive either. There's probably not much demand for it, so it probably makes it by default maybe slightly affordable because of that.
Well, you gotta remember,
I now have to seek it out.
Two things to point out. One, this was George Lucas with like the EU. Any character was basically appeared in a comic or a book, got a figure.
Yes.
And two, it's also like Prime convention season time. So there was bound to be like a booth set up at any little farmer's market you could find, probably with like with entire like walls of like unopened expanded universe action figures. You could probably buy this thing for about $5.
$5 for one that's got a little bit of a yellow packaging, $17 for a one that looks almost brand new. Sorry, I just had to look it up.
No, you actually had a Tron, a Tron figure from this collection, I believe. That is going for stupid money.
The Yuselamari too, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Buy it now.
All right, dudes.
Yeah, you buy for $5. You sell it for a few hundred.
I'm not selling that. No, he stays. He stays with the ventriloquist. And one day they're gonna make a Condor just for me. And he's gonna stay with the Condor, and it's gonna be great. I'm looking at my really like cheesy collection. I'm like, there's my '90s Johnny Blaze with the slick back hair and the shades and the headband, because everyone in the '90s needed a headband. No, I need one. I need a Space Trooper. It's gonna be mine, damn it. It's gonna be mine.
So
there you go. Yep, I can have my own. Yes, this is good.
As great as the Space Trooper is, it does not top what, in my opinion, is the absolute greatest Star Wars character, the Gonk droid. Gonk.
Gonk.
The Gonk droid is my favorite dumb character from Star Wars. Well, that and the one
I thought you were going to say Lobot. I thought you were going to be more of a Lobot. You always kind of came off to me as a Lobot type of guy.
Oh, no. We can go dumber. Go dumber. Droopy McCool.
Oh, I actually don't know that one.
Remember when there was a character that was supposed to be called Darth Dinky? You know what happened to Darth Dinky?
No.
What happened to Darth Dinky, Pablo?
He turned into a Starkiller, one of the best characters from the video games.
Oh, nice.
Lobot reminds me of like it's like when your aunt asks your mom, what does your son like? And like, oh, he likes Star Wars. And then Christmas comes along and you see the top of the packaging and you say, oh, it's Star Wars. And then you open up all the way, you're like, oh, it's Lobot. And that's because that's the figure that had the most amount of figures on the shelf. That's what Lobot's figure is.
Yeah, but Lobot's cool if you read some of the books.
Yeah,
I
and
hear
it-
that, and I'm sure he is. It's just because a lot of people started and stopped at the movies. It's sadly that it's an untouched figure. And you know what? I'm willing to change my mind with Lobot. I already have my defense for Slide, Fancy Dan, and the all-time great, the Condor. I'd be glad to have Lobot in there along with the Space Trooper. I gotta have my pantheon of great, short-lived, if not terrible, villains. Or no, he's not a villain though. We'll
No.
say a character overlooked kind of hero, or in this case, underlooked. But guys,
I know they had
we
toys
got
in
an
it.
ending here where it's literally
Epic.
Michael Bay explosive before Michael Bay. And Thrawn gets, well, can we say the last laugh, maybe? I mean, he seems to be very, very content with everything that happened. It's almost like, hey, it's all part of the plan. I was like, this son of a bitch.
I mean,
Fucker.
considering he's now stolen like a stealth generator. He was able to get all these like mining devices. He has like
Akbar's arrested.
Yep. Because I mean, like now he can bring in ships, and they can go and basically take those little miners, put them onto a ship. You can easily blow it up without them, almost without them ever realizing you got close. He has a great weapon here.
Well, it also didn't seem like he was trying to use them to board ships too, so that way he could steal the ships, because they were drilling right through the side of the hull and then shoving stormtroopers in there so they could take over the ship so he could steal them. So yeah, that's ingenious in and of itself.
I mean, yeah, he could go both ways with it.
Definitely. an
Nobody's
epic
going to
conclusion.
make a joke about going both ways.
Well, for Thrawn.
Oh, okay.
Well, gents, does anyone else have anything to add? Pico, anything you want to say for this as it closes off and we get ready to send off and say our goodbyes?
No, because I'm going to accidentally spoil something.
Oh, okay.
What, the katana or something like that?
Klobby, anything you want to add towards Thrawn being the master planner or anything? Final thoughts on this story?
No, it's a great story. It's again, I remember. See, I had most of my memories come from the books, from listening to the books and reading the books, and then I got to read this story long ago with a comic, good long time ago, and so I'm just really refamiliarizing myself with the comic. I got to read almost all of, well, about half of the 6 issues before when we started tonight. So I've been, as we've gone along, just been listening to you guys recap some of the stuff I fill in some of the stuff that I was a little vague on, like in the later issues. But all in all, I have kind of a similar issue to you have with the art. Figures, I'm not so much. Stuff like this is really beautiful. He does a nice job with some of the star battles. The hardware. I have a buddy of mine. He is very particular about Star Wars or Star Trek comics. If you don't get the hardware right, it really aggravates him. And basically, it should look like.
I think about that too with Star Wars.
It's just like it should look and feel like Star Wars or Star Trek, and that's part of it. The whole look and everything. So it does that very well. It is an excellent story. So yeah, no, it's a pretty nice job. And of course, Mike Barron does a nice job of as best he can translating it from. It's not as easy as you might think. of taking someone's prose work, very thick prose work, as a matter of fact, as Timothy Zahn, somebody like that, and translating it to a 6-issue comic book. It was a very long. I mean, that book is, it was like 30 something hours as an audio drama, I believe. Which was, by the way, the audio dramas, these are really great. Thrawn, as a result, who is the most interesting character, probably maybe gets short shrift a little bit. It doesn't quite do enough with him, but that's understandable because when you pick up a Star Wars comic book, you want to see the characters, you want to see the big group more than anything else. That's why if you want more of Thrawn, definitely go to the books because there are a lot of great. He's great in the other sequels to this, and even later there's a Thrawn this series, so all by Timothy Zahn, a great Star Wars writer. If you're a Star Wars fan and a comics fan, you just want to see a good Star Wars comic, though, it's a good one to pick up.
Really well said last words, Clobby. I love to hear it, man. Thank you. Freaking awesome. Fenrir?
You see, gents, I believe we're good. I believe everything that needed to be said has been said, and I don't think I can counter it. Except without using a very dirty joke about what can come next.
You didn't read it either, right?
Pablo, any final words on your side?
Yeah,
Hey,
now
wanna
that
add?
I'm remembering more of the comic and seeing the panels and everything, what Clovey is saying is exactly right. The only really cool move that you see is from Throne is just at the end. That is basically he's injecting the weaknesses into the rebellion instead of just outright trying to break them. He's just gifting them some weaknesses, and this seems like a defeat. Even his commander is like, "Are we retreating? Or did we lose?" No, but they need to think they won. Throne is really, really intelligent that way. He's really, really manipulative that way, and is what works. With Throne, you cannot use force because in fight, he knows how to make you fall by your own weight.
Okay. Well, anyone else, or are we all good?
I mean, ultimately, considering that this is your episode 7
Mhm.
Yes, it is.
of basically what this is effectively the episode 7, and to have it sort of end on this little nebulous cliffhanger of where you have the heroes kind of divided up. Akbar has been arrested. They've kind of been able to, at best, just kind of push off the Grand Admiral Thrawn and his forces, but from basically Thrawn's own words, Thrawn basically allowed this to happen.
Yep.
This is a hollow victory. Ultimately, it's a battle that they thought they're getting the big win out of and holding them off, but they have no idea what they're walking into ultimately. And I think that's the reason why people like this so much. This is in some ways similar to the Vader Emperor sort of dynamic, but it has its own differences there. It's not a battle where Luke can necessarily just fight his way out. He can just like go in and just swing a lightsaber and win. They're gonna have to get creative for this.
Well, this is a story about Leia. Basically, this is all about her. Because
you're right. I totally forgot about the Leia side of things with the pregnancy, the twins. They've got a lot more concerns more now. It's not just about the galaxy. This is about her. This is about these twins. This is her galaxy.
she's fighting for her new family at the same time that she is fighting for a political battle that is above any military battle that they can have right now. because it's all about who supports who.
And also the future of the Jedi Order.
Which those
Exactly.
twins are going to be a part of.
Well, one of them, the other
up.
one will.
Well, but you know what I mean, though. That's the plan. That's how they're looking at it right now, right? Like that is the future of the Jedi Order, literally sitting inside of her womb. So that's why they see that's why you see the worry about them. It's why you see the Empire coming after them. They're trying to get a hold of those kids.
Well,
Kind of fun.
is Vader's lineage, and that's really, really important at that moment, especially because they know that the last one that had Vader's lineage was Luke, and was the one able to defeat. Well, nobody really knows that it was Vader, the one that defeated the Emperor. For people at this moment, is basically Luke
But
defeated
everyone
the
is just
Emperor.
Luke.
Well, Luke was in the ground. Is Vader the one that picks up the Emperor and throws him into the
throws him over?
Yeah, into the chasm, and he's like, "Hey, what's up? I'm back, son. I'm dying."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nick, you are muted.
I'd like to mention something. Lucky I didn't get far with it, like 5 words. That with everything that happened, it almost feels like it was like an ultimate distraction type of thing. And I'd argue that it was the reverse. It's a trap. All of it was a trap that they all fell for. And Admiral Akbar took the fall for a trap. I thought that the irony was not lost on me.
Admiral
With
Akbar
that
was
said,
fierce.
excellently told. I wouldn't even call it a victory. I call this fuck.
Strategic
That's where I'm
repositioning.
gonna go. I call it the reverse. It's a trap because obviously Admiral Akbar tends to warn that, but this time around he's the trapped. Yeah. But other than that, though, I had a great time reading the story. Amazing Luke Skywalker moments. Mara Jade and Leia are very formidable characters who work great. Thrawn is very, very crazy. Even though he doesn't act crazy, he just is crazy, which is like, wow, this dude is a son of a bitch. I'm all about it. And once again, the landscapes looked amazing. I love the detail of the land. I'm one of those guys, especially for Star Wars based stories. I expect the land to look nice, so I'm going to keep on mentioning that. I love how the land looks in this, and great to see Lando. He came in with style, and he was high style and profiling, limousine riding, jet flying Lando Calrissian, hearing that Billy D. Williams voice. And once again, dude, the banter of Han Solo with him and Lando, him and Leia, brought back so many memories. So many memories. And once again, there's a few moments of whether you want to call it Easter eggs, members, whatever you want to call it. It played very smartly into the story. And oh boy, was there some awesome violence. And as RJ Godzilla said, maturity and growth from where the original trilogy left off. So this story feels like development is happening. You get an idea of where we come from, where we're at now, and a sliver of where we're going into the future. That is how you tell this type of continuity based story. You got to cover all 3 ends of the spectrum, and this did just that. So this gets a high recommend for me, and this will not be the last time we talk about Star Wars stories on the Comic Shop Talk. There will be more, and yes, we will definitely have to do the Thrawn trilogy in its entirety just to fulfill that. It looks like everyone has said anything that they wanted to say, but yes, guys, we'll do more Star Wars Online things. Like there was a very, very strong reception to doing it, so we're definitely gonna do more. And on top of it, we had fun doing it, so it's nice to have the crowd, but it's also important that we enjoy doing it too. So we absolutely enjoy it. And 5 Pico, you're welcome to come back on whenever it is that we do it.
I'm totally down for Dark Force Rising because it's my favorite of the 3.
Okay, good.
Nice.
You're in. Just like that,
yeah.
you're in. Chat, thank you guys for all your super chats tonight. Very, very generous. Lisa McCracken, thank you for the meme of glory. And I saw a few new faces. Welcome to the channel. I hope you like what you saw, and I hope you come back for more Star Wars or not. And for my regulars, you're fucking awesome. Like America, fuck yeah, type of awesome. So fuck yeah.
America.
Fuck yeah.
On my channel, I posted a video on receipt-based stuff about the Rippaverse. Go check that out if you haven't. Toxic Tuesday, we'll be talking The Equalizer, Denzel Washington, Tuesday night. And I'll have another video out soon whenever I feel like getting to it, which will be soon because I do feel like it. Chat, once again, thank you for supporting the show. We'll be back in 2 weeks for Mark Miller's Starlight. If you like Flash Gordon, if you like Mark Miller, if you like heroism, you want to tune into this episode. If you're one of those guys who wants to do the homework, read Starlight. Otherwise, we can just talk about the story with you guys, as some of you seem to be totally content with learning about it from us, that vicarious way of living. So, but yeah, seriously, if you want to be those guys who reads it, read Starlight. It's good. Seriously, straight up. It's gonna be great in 2 weeks. And yeah, go watch D-Day Cobra if he's got the awesome Robert Barnes on. That's freaking awesome to hear. So, all right, guys. I'm gonna let these gentlemen plug their stuff on the way out, and we're gonna call it a night. We'll start off with the Common Nerd, who's posting, well, almost as many videos as Culture is.
Yeah, there's always a race neck and neck between me and Culture on that one. But yeah, I post pop culture and nerd videos. Come check out my channel. We are 2 subscribers away from 3,700. So if you haven't, I think most of everybody in the chat's probably already subscribed to me. But if you haven't already, come check it out. If you're watching this on the replay, come check us out over there. If I can stay awake, I'm gonna go try to play some Legend of Zelda because I've been getting complaints from my chat that I haven't done any video game streams in a while. So I'm gonna try to do that here in about 15-20 minutes. But yeah, go check out Geeks and Gamers Tabletop if you haven't already. I'm officially their Warhammer 40K lore master, and I've got videos to make tomorrow, so that way we'll have some Warhammer 40K lore and new updates on the 10th edition stuff coming out next week. So go check that out. I do live streams all the time. Just come hang out. Sunday at 2 p.m. we got the Bible study. It's a good time. Everybody really has a good time. Lots of questions, lots of knowledgeable people over there. And then Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, morning prep. Oh, go check out the Wednesday night show. If you guys like independent comics, we had B.A. Turner on Wednesday night with his Vigilante Creed. It's a gargoyle story. So if you like the classic, like 90s gargoyles, kind of mythology stuff, go check out that episode. Go check out his segments on that stream. It was really good. He was a great guest, and the comic was really cool. And you got to see my wife host because I had to go do some other stuff. So it's a good time all around. So yeah, thanks for having me, Nick. This comic was great. Like, I love Star Wars stuff. Getting into Star Wars comics just makes it even better, and getting to actually see Zahn for the first time and get kind of a full feel for him. This was for all of the character and everything else. Yeah, for Thrawn that Zahn made.
I feel like you may. Yeah, no, I feel like you meant to say Thrawn. I could tell.
Yeah, Thrawn. So to see him and that kind of tactician skill and all that kind of stuff, I'm definitely excited to get into the next one. So can't wait. Thank you guys all in the chat. You guys are wonderful. You're beautiful. Sorry I was late, but hey, sometimes that's what happens.
You're good, man. So. Honest, you're good. Thank you there, sir. I'll see you soon. As always, have a great weekend. Ironcaster.
Hello there, and welcome. This is your Ironcaster, and this has been so much fun today to get back into some Star Wars, get a chance to really remind myself and hopefully everyone else out there just what are the good Star Wars is, that these stories still exist, and even if you might have gone through them years ago, that it can always be worth it going back, because sometimes you can go back. You don't have to keep going forward with where they're taking the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to give them your money.
Nope. No.
You should give it to Nick Weiser.
What Ironcaster said.
Now,
I agree strongly.
Tomorrow, I will be on with the T-shirt historian for the Week in Geek, as I tend to on Saturdays. But before that, around noon, I'll be on with Brandon the Anime Guy for our monthly One Piece streams. Or we are going back to that big ocean of 1,000+ chapters and as many episodes for something that quite recently broke Crunchyroll.
Literally broke it.
Mm-hmm. Or we'll be getting to and covering the Alabasta arc. So we finally get to one of the first major storylines. Let's see. Tomorrow night, hopefully, the Cotton Council will be back. So my little buddy, Charlie Baca will be making an appearance. And Tuesday, I will be on with Pops and Stoloki for Talk Hard, where we will be delving into the classic Val Kilmer film, Real Genius.
All right.
Great. That's one of my favorites.
Excellent. Well, Caster.
It'll be a first chance for me to see it, so we'll find out if I like it.
And I hope you do, sir. I look forward to hearing about all of it. Hopefully, if I'm lucky, I'll catch some of it as well. Have a great night and weekend, sir. And Pablo.
Hey, I have been working today actually in a video for Midnight Edge that is coming out about Snow White. It's a really interesting video. So
Don't you mean
I
Snow
recommend.
Brown?
Idiot. That Snow White kerfuffle is way more deep than you can imagine. Basically, bitches being paid to talk trash. That's the short version of everything. I don't know why more Latinas can't be like Sasha Calle. She was in a terrible movie in The Flash, and I still love her because she was cute and a darling, and she was all about the customer. And this bitch is the other side. So, yeah, it's Latina Brie Larson. Hope she can nationalize as American, so we can stop saying that she's Latina because, yeah, she's giving a bad name to Latinos. That's all I will say about. That's my statement on the matter. Other than that, in Aceite Español tomorrow. I don't know what we are talking about because I have been doing a lot, including editing a video. So it will be a fun, interesting ride for me too. Hope I can see you there. And no, I'm just here because I wanted to have a good time, and I got that exactly. So I'm really thankful, and I need to sleep. I really need to sleep.
Oh,
Thanks,
man,
brother.
you're good, dude. Hey, thanks for being here as always, Pablo. We'll see you in 2 weeks for Starlight. Remember, you got 2 weeks. 2 weeks to read Starlight. So if you can, read it twice, just because. Well, we're going deep. We're going deep.
Nice.
So it's gonna be huge.
That's how she likes it.
Good. That's how we're gonna keep it. Have a great weekend, sir. As always.
You too, brother.
Fenrir.
All right, you guys already know me. I'm Fenrir the Ice Wolf. Slower than Slowpoke Rodriguez and more trustworthy than Bender B. Rodriguez. The point is, don't trust the Mexicans.
Indeed.
Now,
Here,
I will
here.
admit, I have been off commission for a while, but you have to
Welcome
admit
back.
it is my brand to be lazy and off the place. Plus, my absence can be blamed on Common Nerd.
Oh yeah, of course it's my fault.
Best
Wait.
kidnapped me for
Oh,
6 weeks.
Wait.
I thought you were getting late.
No way, he's still a
Yeah,
virgin.
what happened there?
Ah, screw off. I'm no virgin. Now, what you guys doing is I was living life
Alright,
and getting fun. I'm sorry I wasn't around, but again,
You're-
I'm lazy. It's on my brand.
Hey,
Probably call the
it's good to
cops on
have-
Common, though. He still owes me a lot of time.
It's good to have you around, man. All right. I'm just glad you're here. Glad you're back. That's what's up. It's all good.
It's always great to be back with you guys.
Yeah, you
I'll
have
try
a
to be
place
around
here.
more, but I make no promises.
Also, we
Hey.
all love Jesse.
Yes. Oh, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, how could we not? That's just the way the cookie crumbles, man. The way the damn cookie crumbles. But
That's
Fenrir, you have a
approved.
great night, weekend, sir. And
Same
I
to
hope
you,
to see
brothers.
you when we talk Starlight in a few weeks, man. I really hope you can be around for it.
Yeah, I'll be checking
So,
out that book right tomorrow.
good. That's what I like to hear. And Clubby.
All right, buddy. Well, thanks for having me. It's been a lot of fun hanging with you, my buddies, as always on a Friday night. By the way, Blue Beetle sucks. Just a quick reminder. To you all. I think it's my job to
What?
remind everyone.
Cool.
So,
quote.
what? Yeah, you liked it?
No, I haven't seen it, and I'm not really surprised that it sucks.
Well, you never know, man. You might like it. You might like it. That happens. We could, don't all agree on everything around here.
Mhm.
You never know, buddy. But I would like to see what you think of it. But, so no, I just want to put that reminder out there just to be malicious. Thanks for having me, buddy. Let's see here tomorrow night, Saturday Night Star Trek, with Raquel and I. We're starting off second season of Star Trek Voyager. 4 more episodes of that, and let's see what else is going on. Of course, I'll Mark D with the C show tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern. And then my two shows on our two shows on Monday and the J Man's great channel, continuing our 3 times a week on a Monday night. We chronicling the entire history story wise of the Great Legion of Superheroes through the Silver and Bronze Age. And then my usual show, it's Jack Kirby month, all month on Clobbering Time. So that's Monday night Mark C Comics Talk for 9 p.m. Central for that, and then the usual spate of shows every day somewhere, whether it's Midnight Edge After Dark, the Comic Roundtable on Loki's and Tom's channels, or mine on Wednesday
Yes.
nights and Thursday nights with the of course the great Clubhouse. There you go, the Clubhouse. So, and of course Friday nights at J Man's, we're chronicling the Kirby's Fourth World, and I'm here with you when you're having it, which is not next week, right? No show next
No,
week.
I will be attending Haunt next week in
Cool.
Chicago. So, but
Great.
we'll be back business as usual consecutively after that for hopefully. I think from what I've looked at my schedule, I think we'll have no more than just one Friday off for the rest of the year. Just one.
No problem.
Outside of next week, I think we just have one. We'll be able to be
Right.
consecutive for the rest of the year outside of one.
Cool. It's cool, buddy. It's cool. So, anyway, thanks everybody. Friends out in the chat. And D Bed Barton, you're exactly right. Real genius is the greatest. Love it.
That's what's up. All right. And I saw Warachi's comment. I've not seen you here, but welcome to the show. Warachi said, "What restaurant is that pizza from in your opening picture?" I just found it online, and it was pizza and looked tasty and made me hungry. That's pretty much
That's
where
good
that
enough.
came from. So there's no specific restaurant, but I would recommend if you ever go to Chirac in the south side of Chirac, Vito and Nick's is amazing pizza that's worth its money because it's not cheap and they are still at their 85 years, cash only.
Nice.
And yes, go watch Young Justice for good stories of Jaime Reyes, along with Batman the Brave and the
I
Bold, 'cause
recommend
he's in
Brave
a
and the
few of
Bold,
those
though.
Brave and the
episodes,
Bold,
they're
yeah.
good too. Oh, dude, fantastic show. Fantastic show. I love that show.
Yep.
All right, guys. Last but not least, 5. I know you had said you've been on a few streams.
Yes.
Do you got anything coming up that you want to plug?
On Sunday. So my friend Jade Light has a weekly live stream called the Jaded Talk, and I'm a mainstay at this point. So
Nice, dude.
Yeah. I guess I'll toss a link in the. No, I'll just.
Yeah, no,
I'll just put it
private
in the
chat.
chat what I
I'll
wanna
put
do.
there for people to
Yeah.
plug.
Go for it. If you want to see a bunch of nerds nerd out over every chapter in a Star Wars novel, that's the place to be.
Oh, hey, you're a mod. I forgot. You're a wrench.
I'm not a
Perfect.
mod. I'm not a mod. I just
You're
posted
not? You posted in the regular comments. It went through. Did it not go?
Uh,
All right. Well, I'm gonna give you wrench power. Are you cool with having wrench power?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, it's all yours, man. We can
Awesome.
cue the I've got the power song because the power, like Captain Planet says, is yours.
Awesome.
All right. So yeah, no, it's still showing on the other side of the stream of the viewer side of things. So okay, but either way, you're still gonna get wrench power. But yeah. So okay, guys, you got the link right here. Go check his show out. It looks like it's more Star Wars EU.
It's very Star Wars EU. We're basically going in order up until the end of New Jedi Order right now.
Okay. Could you post in the private chat?
I did.
It went away on the stream side. Actually, hold up. I just realized I can just go back up and just add you rather than go to the private chat. Go put a comment in the public chat.
Okay.
Yeah, go put just write. You can write the letter B or something. There we go. Testing. Check one. Add as moderator. You are all right. You have full power. You are
we got
managing
there. We got
moderator. You're not just standard moderator. You are managing moderator. So go ahead and put that link one more time for people in the chat, as we still have people here. And folks, thank you for sticking around for the plugs. It helps all the guys here with their channels. Thank you. Yes, check out his channel. And you said that's on Sunday, you said?
Yes. Usually it's on Sunday, but it depends on whatever.
No, hey, that's good, man. Fucking awesome. I'm gonna see if I can try at least listen to it before I go see Jeff Goldblum on Sunday night. So he's doing a jazz show Sunday night, and I treated the lady to it because she's a Jeff Goldblum fan, and I don't mind him too myself. So it's gonna be fun. But dude, fucking awesome. I'm gonna try at least check in for a little bit before I see the Goldblum. You have a great night, dude.
Well, it's gonna be a good one to check out because you're not gonna have to read this one because these books are
good.
Shit. So it's just gonna be you not being able to fathom how this managed to happen. Pablo, it's Jedi Prince, the episode.
Oh
yeah, so it's gonna be something. It's gonna be something.
All right, you heard the man, guys. 5, thank you for coming on here. You're welcome to come back when you want. You always have a place here, and we'll be talking on Gilded as always. And go kill it Sunday night, dude. And thanks for the super chats earlier, my friend. Good. I hope one day.
It's actually Sunday morning because German time.
Sunday morning. But even perfect. I'll be able to listen on break at work. Perfect.
All right.
I hope one day we cross paths in person. I can buy you either a pizza or a delicious beverage or both. But until then, sir, you have a great night and weekend. And guys, this is the part where we all say, "Oh, you're." He's 3 hours late. Can we start? Catch the replay. It's worth it, Emperor Zenom. It's worth it. It's worth it. All right, buddy. It's worth it. Seriously, guys. Thank you very, very, very much for supporting the show once again. Have a great night. We'll see you in 2 weeks for Starlight. I cannot wait. Let's do this one good for Mark Miller. Goodbye, good fight, and good night. No fancy outro.